Great.
No.
One by one.
Turn FF on. Friendly fire, I dare you. 1 star on Yelp.
Playing dodgeball. Expectations. But now look, there's only 6 left. Easy win. A deep unease creeps over you as you're faced with the sheer presence of your opponent. It fills you with determination. It's unexpectedly strong. We've got 8 juicy best Predator update stories for you guys today. Starting it off, what? With my ex turned up last night drunk. Tomorrow is his wedding day. Should I tell his soon-to-be wife? As always, guys, this is the best Predator updates. We got hella updates in all of these stories. But stick around for 7 more absolutely insane updated Reddit stories, such as a left of 5-year-old and 9-month-old grown up. Although the recent one too, so get that recent. And finally, that we're going to be ending this video on my husband got fired for harassing a coworker. If that doesn't scream me, man, I don't know what does. Y'all already know the drill, chat. Let's lock in here. My ex turned up last night to drop tomorrow is his wedding day. And I tell him to be like originally posted to our relationship invite August 25th, 2021. My ex for 2 years. It was not a bad relationship, and we broke up because I moved to beauty and he didn't want to.
Can my clones do my job?
Broke up and engaged me very much.
No, what is the bigger? The nigga, the bigger. Bigger, the bigger. Like that. The apartment didn't look dangerous, and he just openly vomited before he eventually vomited in the bathroom. With a gathering, he was still very hurt because of a breakup, and he thinks he could have made it work, and he regrets treating me back. He then grew up again and called me over to his hotel. It was very surreal. It was fine.
got a waffles and coffee to so rough and told him to write us at his hotel, make sure he didn't die or something. I was left feeling almost right? Or should I call the new urgent to tell that to his fiance? Or should I not do anything and let this just be an anecdote like which getting married in this about next? And people are not a certain not a monkey, but I think the right thing to do is to reach out to her and be like, hey bro, because like I shit would not want to get married to somebody. I didn't get shit to the drunk to their ex's house to like
I already stopped.
love to them. Like, no, I think this soon to be wife, I would want to know. I also think about OP, it was very heavily way off my shoulders to know if they could have done something, but they didn't do that. At my house, that's okay, so pretty much everybody in chat is saying she should reach out to her wife. I just think that's the right thing to do. If you ever sleep with someone or like someone's going to pull some shit on you and you find out they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, like I genuinely think you should do something about it. But like, let's be honest, that person probably won't learn unless they have consequences for their actions anyway. Like, this dude's not loyal. He's not going to be loyal to his wife. I don't know if he didn't plan the bachelor party so he could go talk to OP because he's been having regrets or doubts. I genuinely do believe it's not a coincidence that his bachelor party was where OP was. He probably had that entire thing planned out, bro. Relevant comments. When I ask you to put yourself in his wife's shoes, would you want to sign your life away to this person? OP, I guess I would want to know, but I also would prefer my partner to tell me that. Another comment responded, but would he tell her? Like, not for yourself, you risk not being believed because it's petty, but at least you know someone tried to fool her. I would not put it on this guy's shoulders to tell his fiance. And if he's willing to, like, get married, and even though he's clearly still not over his ex like that, and he's willing to show up drunk the night before his wedding, like, there's no way this guy's gonna take the high road. Reddit, thanks for all the feedback. It seems like Reddit is as split on this as I am, just because this kept coming up. My main goal with telling her is not for them to break up. I don't want that, and that's not why I would want to tell her. The reason for me telling her is solely that I would want to know I was her. Nothing else. It's not about me bragging about him not being over me. It's not something I care about. I wonder how someone it is. I decided that constant provide was the wrong thing.
Are you self-controlling?
I said this to her, an old friend of mine, as if basically saying that being her brother, he appeared to make her drunk and distressed, and to make sure he was okay. She thanked me for the message and apologized for using it with my ex, but apparently after for 2 weeks now, leading up to his wedding, she asked me if I was okay and if her brother had gone back to the hotel because they couldn't find him. I told her he had returned and had written up that he had arrived at around 11:30 p.m. She thanked me again, and I haven't heard from her since. Oh, he's totally gonna show up again. Another update. Victor called me again to ask me if he'd come by or said anything about his whereabouts. Apparently, he didn't show up for the wedding, and no one knows where he is. So meanwhile, his fiance is now obsolete. Glad she contacted somebody, but I love you think it was the wrong context. But at the end of the day, this doesn't affect his sister, this affects potentially enable behavior, because if the white dude cats out of the bag, he probably reached out. He needs security cameras. Like, I hope this isn't that dark. You could also see an ending in him showing up in his house. You just reached out to her. That's your love got shot down. You didn't need to plan a whole fucking wedding. You did it. Jealous and pull her back in some way. I also just think in general, do that I'm too tough, I'm over her, like I don't care, without actually like processing
she just got into
them, and because of that, there's like a fuck ton of unresolved feelings that he has and he's just never addressed. Like, this guy sounds stupid. Like, I don't think he's smart enough to come up with a plan like that. I think he's just like, totally over her, oh, but like, the plan this thing, and like, maybe get drunk and go talk to my ex. Like, I don't know. All things 10 days later, long story short, he abandoned and decided he did not want to commit to his fiancée and failed. And days later, called to break off the engagement. No details. After his sister and I talked, my ex's fiance reached out and was kind of mad. The best man had told her he went to see me. At First, she was convinced we had sex, so that took a bit of talking. I felt sorry. She was very distraught. She apologized, I apologized, and I told her I wished her the best. Saturday, I received a call from his sister. Apparently, X reappeared. He went all the way to France. Oh, he stayed where they're from? Are we talking like America to France? Are we talking like UK to France? Like, it's so ridiculous to country hop to run away from your wedding. His sister told me to apologize because my ex had stolen one of my lipsticks. I honestly had not noticed, but my ex admitted it to her. She PayPal'd me the money to buy myself a new one. I said I was not mad and asked her how she was and how his ex-fiancé was. On their end, everything is a mess. Everyone is mad at him. I don't know many more details. I was kind of not willing to ask, but yeah. That's it. What a fucking mess, bro. What a fucking mess. Lipstick is a weird thing to steal. Like, I know he was drunk, but, like, I need a memento for the most down bad moment of my life. I'm gonna steal my ex's lipstick. The thought process there must have been fucking crazy. Someone was commenting on the lipstick over his fucking part. Yes, that is crap. That was called up. Maybe it was a mistake. Her, like, oh, I accidentally grabbed the lipstick when you return it? I mean, doesn't sound like this man is the most logical of men out there. Damn, I pray this love never finds us, bro. If you're still in your ex, please leave me alone. Please, 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 please. If you're still in your ex, leave everybody alone. Go figure out how to heal before you hop on the next train. My husband left our 5-year-old and 9-month-old all alone and refuses to explain why. We posted to r/True Off My Chest February 4th, 2025. My husband is 43 and I'm 31. We've been married for 7 years and have a 5-year-old and a 9-month-old. My husband left our children alone and he refuses to admit it or tell me where he was. I'm furious, enraged, and my husband keeps telling me I'm making a big deal about nothing. This just happened this weekend. I was on the board of directors for a local nonprofit organization. I had to attend an event for that organization this past Saturday, and I was gone for most of the day. My husband was supposed to be home with our kids. I texted him a few times and he responded. When I called around midday, he didn't respond. But that's not very unusual. Shortly after that, I got a call from my mom and she said my son had just called her, and when she asked him what he and his sister were doing, he said they were both watching TV. When she asked where their dad was, he said his dad wasn't there. My mom asked him several other questions, and from my son's responses, she believed he was telling the truth and that my husband wasn't there, and that there was no adult there at all. She said he didn't seem scared to be alone or worries about where his dad was at. He just called her to chat. He has a tablet designed for children with pre-programmed contacts that he can call. It's only a few people, just family members. I left the event immediately and began texting and calling my husband repeatedly. He didn't respond to my first several attempts. It took him about 10 minutes. I was halfway home at that point to respond. I was so confused, so worried, really mad, and I asked him where he was. He said he was at home. I told him our son had just told his grandmother that he was home alone with his baby sister watching TV about 15 minutes ago. My husband denied it. As I told him, I was too upset to talk and drive. When I got home, I checked on the kids right away and they were both fine. I asked my husband again, where was he? He said he was home the entire time. He doesn't know what our son was talking about, but he must have just been confused since he had gone to the basement to do some laundry. I ran down to the basement. It was the same load of laundry I'd thrown in the dryer the night before. He didn't do any laundry when I was gone. I asked my husband why my son would be confused about whether his dad was home or not. Where in our home would he have gone, and for how long will our son be thinking his dad was? That doesn't make sense with a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old. What is even unintended that long? Why is he nowhere to go and contact my son to go check certain areas of the house? I begged my husband to just admit it, to stop treating me like an idiot, and to stop accusing our son of lying. And to tell the truth. He lied twice to my face and was incredibly mad. He was home, but he can't tell me any believable story of where he was at or what he was doing during that time. The way he answers me when I ask him about this answer is so stupid. When I tell him he left our children alone, he usually says, well, I didn't. So anyway, he says I'm overreacting and letting our son's imagination drive me crazy. Gaslighting, leaving the children unattended, probably cheating. Let's be so fucking real, he's probably cheating with a neighbor or something. This is sketchy. We need some divorce papers in chat. I'm all for it. I've read enough. I am convinced he was gone. We don't have a ring camera, but at least one of our neighbors does. I'm so upset about this, and then I texted to ask our neighbor for the ring footage. I had to go out to my car and scream and cry because I got so upset. Of course, I didn't want my kids to see my reaction. I can't put into words how upset I am about the fact that I know he must have really left them alone, but have no proof and am being treated like I'm just a paranoid nutcase of a mother/woman by him. Grab your kids and take them to your moms. This guy is not only cheating on you, but he is putting your children's life in danger. And I know a 5-year-old should not be left unattended. That is extremely dangerous. Even if there's a reason for him to be gone like that, or I have to keep it run for like, what are your moms? That means like you need evidence to know like if man is fucking up, gaslighting you, and he's probably cheating. In my opinion, he's giving you enough here to trust your gut and get the fuck out of there. That's either someone who's cheating or someone who's fucking with drugs. And he's doing some sketchy shit. Although I feel like if he was doing drugs, I feel like she would realize he was on drugs, you know? Like if she interrupted his drug session, I feel like that's cheating. Make a police report and get out. Meanwhile, I agree with that actually. You need some documentation here if you're gonna go through with the divorce. Full custody, and I think a police report would be good. Some evidence and some witnesses of like that is wrong, you know. You guys know me, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I just think the husband for 8% of the doubt. There's so much sketchy shit happening. He's gaslighting, there's testimony that he's not at home taking care of his kids like he should be. And then child endangerment. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. It's either drugs or an affair. Also, the fact that your 5-year-old was calm and nonchalant about the situation makes me believe that he does this frequently enough that the kids are used to it. Oh, a mom said she and my son chatted for at least 5 minutes before she asked him where his dad was. And when she asked that, she still didn't think anything was wrong. She was trying to make conversation. He gave no indication that anything was wrong. And when she started to ask me more questions regarding his dad's whereabouts, he didn't seem phased. Two, I agree that it's either drugs or an affair if he's truly leaving him alone. To ease your mind, get the footage from your neighbor, but do not tell him. Furthermore, giving your son nonchalance about being left alone, it might not be the first time he's done this. Ask your son, aside from the fact that this is highly dangerous, there are legal ramifications that both of you face. You should be alerted that the children are being left home alone. All get mini cams, street cameras, on the ring camera, keep them in strategic locations throughout your home. Oh, he definitely won't be left with them anymore unless Ryan's secretly watching the entire time. Calling her out. Oh, his husband have any accounts that she wasn't aware of, such as bank accounts, etc. Oh, he has a separate bank account that I don't have access to. It's not a secret account. I know it exists. I don't have a debit card for it. I'm not named on the account, and I don't log into these things. I have no influence in it. We have a joint account too. We have credit cards. I don't respond to those. I'm on it weird. How come you get home in 10 minutes since he answered your phone call and you got there while I'm calling? Cheating with the neighbor. Final answer, that's what I'm going for. Doesn't mean I think he's telling you the truth, and I think you should get the ring camera footage because either to leave the rest if you're friends with any neighbors. Oh, he had to be within 10 minutes from our house. He's on a good day, so if he was in his car and 20 minutes from our house, he would have gotten the time. I'm wondering if he actually got my initial panic calls and texts, didn't answer, started racing home, and then finally picked up once he was home, so he could pretend he was there all along. Additional information from over-the-counter conversation with her 5-year-old son regarding her husband/his father. I told my son after I calmed down a little bit, his story was virtually the same as what he told my mom. A few more details, but nothing that gave me any clue about what my husband was up to. After what he did when I was gone, his daddy made him pancakes and they had coffee outside. Actually drinking coffee, he pretends to drink it in the building, and he likes to get outside with his body. This explosion, and of course he remembered that, and apparently Dad was there to clean that up, because he said she was everywhere, and he had to help Dad give her a bath, and it was disgusting. Curious that my husband supposedly did laundry, but left the onesie unwashed. That was the highlight of his day, and he loved telling me about how gross it was. Daddy laughed. He said, yeah, Daddy laughed. Like, it was no big deal. I asked him what he did when Daddy was gone. He said he watched TV. I asked him what he watched. I asked him what his sister, the baby, was doing when Daddy was gone. And he said she was watching TV with him too. I asked him if he was sure Daddy was gone. He said, yeah, Daddy wasn't home. I asked him how he knew, and he said, Daddy's keys were gone. And Daddy told him to stay in the living room with his sister. He has no real thoughts at the time, so asking feel like he was in trouble and he's good. And so it seemed like that's how it started to feel when I kept asking questions. I just don't see a situation where this is innocent. I don't see a situation where he's like innocently trying to hide something, and even if he was, that's still not an excuse to your kids unattended at the ages that they are at. So what's wrong with the camera?
Weakness CXCRV.
Almost not. There's no way that he's gonna do that shit. Like, he can't just tell the wife is watching. Hey, 38 to 25, 4 days.
Go.
We have many arguments about it. I'm living in a constant state of anger and frustration. I don't fight about it anymore. But I couldn't help it. I kept bringing it up again and again. I couldn't lay low. I wanted to get over it while I waited for him to do it again and continue whatever was going on. I also knew that demanding to tell me the truth wasn't going to get me anywhere. So he's been refusing to talk and reflecting for days. All it was making me enraged and feel like I was about to have a brain aneurysm. I told him to hand me his phone so I could check his location at the time. He refused. He said he wouldn't do it and that was a violation of his privacy. He won't be treated that way and refuses to give in to my delusions. You think I enjoy being in a situation where I have to beg my husband to show me his phone so I can see where he was at? I hate it. I don't want to live that way. I told him it's simple. If he was really at home the entire time, just prove it. Why wouldn't he want to clear this whole thing up? I got so mad that he wouldn't turn over his phone that I told him I was going to the neighbors to get their doorbell footage. At first he was like, fine, go do it. He didn't think I actually would. He knows I don't like to air drama to others, so he probably figured I'd just swallow all this crap he's been giving me. Luckily, I was totally being driven by anger at this point, so nothing was going to stop me from going to the neighbors. When I actually started to go out the door, he tried to stop me and followed me out the door. I felt pure anger rushing through my veins, nothing else. The neighbor, who I probably said less than 10 words to in the entire time we've lived here, told me he'd send me the footage. I went home, told my husband that the neighbor didn't have the footage from that day anymore, and told him I just needed to go to the store and cool off. So I put the kids in the car and went and parked somewhere while I waited for the neighbor to send me the footage. I have the neighbor's number now too, and he told me if I need any more footage, he will be happy to give it to me. Ooh, devious OP. Okay, I see you. Hey, fight fire with fire, bro. At this point, all is fair in love and war. The video shows a blue car that I don't recognize show up and park in our driveway. A blonde woman gets out of the car and goes towards my house. She walks on the outside of her garage until the gate leads to her back car. The gate is her back out of the way to see on the doorbell footage. She and her car were there for 24 minutes. Imagine that. The car leaves right through the time that I was rushing home in a panic and calling the phone. Possibilities of where they went. She either came in through the side door of the house, which does provide direct access to the basement, or, and what I think is more likely, is that they were in the backmost area of her yard, which is a gated pool area. Immediately behind our house is a grass lawn, then you step down a few steps and we have a patio. And then there's a fully gated area where the pool is. Like you think of when you picture a gated pool, it's a full 6-foot wood fence all the way around.
We don't hate you though.
You can't see the area at all once you're inside. I think it's more likely that they were back there because my son said his dad's in the pond, and we keep that gate on. We're close for the winter, but there is one small building back there, like a shed converted into a changing area. There's a covered patio of furniture. He thinks that's where they were, so technically he was home, but in an area totally removed from the house and where he couldn't see or hear the kids if something happened. That's how you can explain this, or they do that. I obviously don't need him to tell me what they were doing, but for some reason, I still hope that he'd finally be honest. He was right. He showed no remorse. He was like, yeah, she was here, but I obviously never left. I did not believe this guy. Which this motherfucker is bugs into one. Check. I got so hey, get out of this goddamn all of this has been going on, and it keeps going on. home alone with the kids. He swears this is the only time, but he still doesn't have the balls to confess what they were doing. I don't believe him that this is the only time. That's why I put questions and I still feel like my heart is beating 40 times a minute. My blood pressure is begs for somebody to help me. Scream too much close to how it's supposed to come to me. You know what? The next day after our multiple explosive fights, him putting his hands on me, and me seeing the evidence, like everything was completely normal, and like none of that stuff ever happened. I'm still seething, exhausted, broken, and he acts like everything is totally normal. But he's ordering breakfast to be delivered from my favorite breakfast place. He asked if I wanted to go to the store together later and try this new restaurant for chili tonight. Why would I want to do any of these things right now? Obviously, no acknowledgement of anything he's done has transpired between us in 2 days. First, it's monster for how well he was able to act like none of that happened. Completely comfortable and non-phased. This guy has to be associated with what fucking days. And although his weight is like absolute slap, with his hands on me, like, what? If you read anything like that, just worry it, like, what the fuck? Well, start with, like, the evidence. And I don't use his phone. Thanks to that fucking idiot and go through every single text message, and don't screenshot, check his pictures, check his hands on social media. Like, there's no way this idiot is careful and he's so reckless with his types of things. I'm sorry, you just gotta find that fucking. I know that's a waste of my energy, but I just desperately want to give him a fortune like he did that day. And at any other day, if this moment wants to hear from him, it won't change whatever he's done, but he's respect and being honest now that he's been that's a ridiculous thought, but alright. He expects spatial decency and honesty now. If he was a decent and honest man, then he wouldn't have had a great woman over their house and been out of state for her kids for 20 minutes. Continue to violate and refuse to obey anything other than a bare minimum. It seems like I'm somehow controlling or infringing on his rights by asking for information. Yeah, we'll be satisfying, but like, you gotta play lost. You'll know what happened. Whether he admits it or not, at this moment, you gotta move on. The part where you fuck him over, take everything that you can from him, and make sure he never has a second in those kids' lives. Number 3, weird thing is, if he showed his location, it would have been put at home and probably put you more at ease that he didn't. He is garbage, especially if he's doing that shit. He has the kids, leaving them on their own. He'd rather cheat and possibly his kids getting hurt or dying. Disgusting. Oh, yeah, so it does make sense. Why would he have just given me his phone? It makes me think that there are other things in his phone besides his location that he doesn't want me to see. As soon as possible, search through his phone. There's no way he's slick with it. I've seen enough from, like, the first post that you had. I would have been out of there off that first post. Like, hey, we're gonna go visit my mom. Deuces. File for emergency custody, whatever you gotta do. Get the fuck out of there, man. You do not want to be in this situation any longer. I feel like the longer that you're in this situation, the more shit that can potentially happen, especially if he's putting his hands on her. Am I being a bridezilla by asking my best friend's partner to not propose at my wedding? There are almost no scenarios where this is okay, but I'm here for the bridezilla drop. Originally, I was into trying to raise YouTube subreddit on February 21st, 2025. I get married in April. We got engaged at Christmas, but in January, my dad was given 5 months max after being taken off of chemo for it not working. I'll preface this by saying I never wanted the big white wedding. I am not a fan of being center stage, etc. My best friend, who is female for 14 plus years, is the polar opposite of me. My partner and I have been super busy with work, but my parents to plan the wedding. His parents are out of the country on holidays and have had info on today's episode of about that in. So we're gonna do the holidays is a word that can refer to a holiday or a dance song. What a crazy duality of a word. It could mean a holiday or it could be a dance song. Words in your funny words. My dad wanted a bigger celebration as this will be the last chance he gets to celebrate. I am obviously heartbroken and want to give him exactly what he wants. I chose my bridesmaids and my partner chose his best man / groomsman. My best friend is one of my bridesmaids and my niece is my other. My bestie from day one of being asked if they've been finding dresses. Not a problem. I've said all along, I just want them to feel comfortable, so to wear what they want. I am paying. Some of the dresses were questionable, but I honestly didn't have the heart to tell her. Men's suits were all chosen and everyone was happy. A little side note here. My parents have never been a fan of my bestie. They think she's an attention seeker and a bit of a tart. They accepted my choice because they know I love her to bits. Last week, when we went to see my bestie, she had a baby recently. So love going to see Bubba. She was saying, I think her partner, let's call him Paul, Paul is going to propose at your wedding. And getting all excited. She kept saying how she wanted it to be a perfect proposal and we have the perfect venue. That is true. The venue is stunning. On the way home from seeing her, I was talking to my partner and said that I didn't want him to propose at the wedding, as we were already celebrating a wedding and my beautiful dad, and didn't want to take away from that. I reached out and tried to explain this to my bestie. Her reply, if you're going to be a bridezilla, I don't want to be a part of your rushed wedding. If you can't stand other people getting attention, you're really pathetic and need to get over yourself. Snip, 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 fuck her. Bro, someone says that shit to me about my wedding, about the biggest day of my life? Double middle fingers, get the fuck out of my life. It would be embarrassing to crawl up to parents and be like, y'all were right, but like, parents would go, this girl's down. Here I will input. The partner and I have been together 4 years. Her and her partner have been together 1 year. Not that this is any sort of competition. We got like 1 year, 1 year, and then a proposal at a wedding, which is the most unhealthy relationship of all time. But here's where I may be the bridezilla / a-hole. My response, I'm truly sorry you feel like I've been a bridezilla / a-hole. I'm trying to be accommodating and free-willed as possible. You had your choice of dress, shoes, hair, makeup, accessories, which were all paid for by me. And we have accommodated bringing your baby, which of course we would have loved you. You know I don't like major attention, but this is my family, my friends, and they're coming to our wedding. If you're so desperate for attention on you, perhaps it's best you're not there. I'm sorry that this didn't work out. I'm truly heartbroken, but this day needs to be perfect for my dad. Her last response, I didn't respond. Your dad's gonna die. He won't even be here to give a shit. Yo, someone says it.
Hi. What are you? I don't have the.
shit about my parent, bro, I'm throwing hands. The fucking audacity of that one-liner is just... Bro, I don't mind losing her over this, but I'm heartbroken and now thinking I may have been a bridezilla. Am I a bridezilla for caring about how my wedding goes? No. You're just somebody who wants to celebrate the most important day of their life and doesn't want that to be upended by someone proposing at a wedding. Bro, honestly, like, I'm going to a good friend's wedding in 2 weeks. I am a groomsman, not to suck my own dick. Someone proposes at his wedding, I am tackling them. I'm going to jail. Like, no way, bro. Normalize telling people like this that they're fucking stupid. Nobody's done it up to this point, but by God, does someone need to tell OP's ex-best friend, I guess. She's dumb. Bridezilla after what she said to your dad. After that, she already had evidence to why she wasn't the bridezilla. Dad was just icing on the cake. That was the cherry on top of like, bro, you are not a bridezilla. Give this woman a beat down. I've heard that people want to propose at weddings because it's an event where people who can't normally get together will all be at one place, but I don't get it. I also don't get that. Why do you want an audience for your proposal? Like, when I propose to someone, I want that shit to just be us. Intimate as fuck. Like, obviously, maybe a photographer to, like, capture the moment or whatever. I'm not trying to make it into a huge spectacle for everybody to see and clap at, you know? That's embarrassing. I just want that moment to be between me and her. You feel me? This transcribed screenshot is essentially what was communicated in this paragraph. So, like, I guess it's just evidence that this is actually real. There is an edit on the same post, February 24th, 2025, 3 days later. I thought I'd update with a few common points. 1. I no longer want this girl in my life, let alone the wedding. She's a vile human being. 2, I have always been that one girl she gets at. I've never had much luck making friends, so I think that's why I've always accepted shitty treatment. 3, partner hates her and has hated her since they met. 4, I'm gonna send a message and block. She's done. I'm not sure how to share screenshots, but I'll work it out. Drop her like she's not, bro. I mean, I think it's a red flag if your parents didn't like her and your partner didn't like her. The call was coming from inside the house. You gotta drop people like that, you know? Update post, February 24th, 2025, same day as the edit, 3 days from the original post. As I'm sure you all expected, we have an update. He was going to leave her, not propose. So my partner and I reached out to him, asked him to meet in a neutral place. We chose the park near to his house. He agreed to meet us alone. Side note, we live about 2 hours apart since I moved out of my parents, and we moved to a different city. I travel most weekends to see my parents. I showed him the messages from the screenshots shown in my last post, and he was raging. Paul was so angry at what had been said, then turned to us and said, I actually wanted to leave her, but was waiting until after the wedding as to not ruin the day for you and your dad. We had a long chat. Paul and my partner have a lot in common, and he's always been lush to the both of us. We drove him home and left. Driving the 2 hours home, I felt relieved. I've never felt so stress-free. I had no one to try and please. And who needs an egg-sucking bridesmaid anyway? Paul rang when we got home. They've split up. She tried to deny the messages, but didn't delete them from her phone, so he knew it was true. He told her he was repulsed and was planning on leaving after she'd been unkind to his mom, also ill. Paul wants an amicable split with the baby, so we'll possibly be getting lawyers involved. My dad is over the moon. He's heartbroken that I've lost pretty much my only friend, but he's so glad she's gone. He's surviving day to day, and we're giving him the best we possibly can. We took him suit shopping, and he looks absolutely incredible. My mom hasn't gotten her dress yet, but we are having a special girly day out soon. Dresses, spa day, and just overall love. Major updates: 1, password with vendors. 2, Paul is still coming, either alone or with a friend or someone else. He deserves a break. 3, Paul is going to tell her parents, who are massively religious and massively strict, and will not tolerate bullies. I mean, I don't think Opie ever said how old they are, but at the probably old age that they're at, having to be told off by your parents is fucking crazy. When you have such shitty behavior as an adult that someone else will tell your parents or something, how do you fucking fix that up? Like, how do you have to be like, oh, my partner's gonna propose at your wedding, so to find out that that news is like, oh, the hell, snip, snip, chop, chop.
I'm busy! I said I'm busy!
I got some sleep. You should be finlet, because my front garden's full of seagulls.
I tried, you can't shut the bin lid. I told you it was overflowing. I said it was, I told
So you
you.
just put the lid down, push it.
I did!
December 7th, 2024. We were out looking at Christmas lights tonight when my fiance said he had a
I did
surprise
push
for
it
me.
down.
He usually isn't great with surprises, so I was intrigued. We drove a ways and pulled up to this house. Mind you, it's nighttime. It's a gorgeous house with a sign in the yard. He asked, what do you think of this house? I've been dying to move out of my cramped one-bedroom apartment. So I'd literally move into a medium-sized shack if I had the chance. I told him it was pretty. He said, what do you see in the yard? And I told him I saw a for sale sign. And then he told me to look again and pulled back. The sign said, under contract. He started to drop my head, and I had started to get really excited. He let me sit my excitement for a while before I asked him, is this our house? And he started laughing and said, no, and drove away. Am I overreacting? I haven't stopped crying. This is one of the cruelest things I think I've ever had done to me by someone I love and trust. Maybe I'm a dickhead for this, but like, is it a good prank? Is a prank so hurtful to like lie over it? I don't know if I agree with that. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a dickhead move. It's not a prank. It's just him being cruel and unusual, especially if it's something that's like important to her. But like, I don't know, like I'll look at chat. Are y'all gonna be like, yo, fucking get rid of this man? What the fuck kind of prank is that? Like, if somebody did this to me, I would be like, what the fuck? Like, that's such a shitty prank. Like, I'd be upset. I'd be crying. I don't know if like, what did they say? This is one of the coolest things I think I've ever had done to me by someone I love and trust. It's the coolest thing someone's ever done to you? Like, you're lucky, bro. Yes, I agree with you guys. This is not funny. This is not funny at all. But, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a dickhead. I totally am okay with that. I don't even think this is breakable. Like, assuming your guys' relationship is hunky-dory. Like, I don't think this is relationship ending. I just would be like, bro, what are you doing? You know moving out of my place is important to me. This isn't a prank. I'm actually really upset. Why would you do that? Like, I would even put this on Reddit, if that makes sense. Damn, you guys are saying this is breakup worthy? This is how I feel, Asian Fury. I think there needs to be a serious conversation and see how he reacts and responds. If you tell him, like, hey, this actually meant the world to me, why the fuck would you do that to me? And he's like, oh, babe, it's just a joke, like, deal with it, like, fuck you, it's not even that big of a deal. Then I'm like, okay, you guys are probably not compatible. If it really means the world to you, and if it's worth crying over, then yeah, get rid of the man. What's the general consensus? Are we, like, nuclear on this? End the whole engagement because of the shitty ill intention? Honestly, kind of cruel prank to her, in her eyes. It's him laughing at her that makes this whole prank cruel. I would agree with that if he was laughing at her crying. If he's like, suck it up, you're a baby, blah, 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 then be like, yeah, but he started laughing, like, while doing the prank, which is like, even if you're dumb and you think that's funny when it's not, you're going to obviously laugh at it. I want to know how he reacted after this. I don't think it's breakable worthy, but if she establishes a boundary, he breaks again, then that's where shit will hit the fan. That's who I feel about it. As much as maybe he is a cool, unusual person, maybe he just had a lapse in judgment and he didn't realize how important it was to OP to get out of her cramped one-bedroom apartment, how important it was for her to have a house, and he did this prank thinking that it would be this funny thing, but it wasn't. Some of these comments, counter. If this was a one-off and it's really fell flat, then I think I can let it go. But if this is a pattern where he often pulls pranks that are cool, not funny, then I could be with someone. The first cool prank, other than an occasional jump scare here and there, we both try to spook each other. I can't even fathom how incredibly unkind it was. So it sounds like it's out of character. Governor, how old are you, bro? I'm curious, it's totally shitty at any age. And then somebody asked if he can afford it. He most definitely can afford it. Maybe they didn't put the right comments in here, but I feel like the commenters are not asking the right questions. There is a top comment. Adorable puppers. We do not marry people who are mean to us. Please tell this person you were only kidding when you said yes to the proposal. Yeah, that's actually such a fire comeback. I can't even lie. Am I overreacting does not have a consensus spot, but most responses told OOP she's not overreacting. Well, then I'm wrong. I still want to know his reaction afterwards. Like, was he apologetic? Was he like, oh my god, I made a fucky wucky, let me do anything and everything that I can to fix that? Or did he dig his heels in? And then we got the update post, February 22nd, 2025, 2.5 months later. I posted this back around Christmas time, and you guys had a lot to say. I just wanted to come back and say that, as of yesterday, the wedding is off. He started to show some very negative tendencies that lean towards abuse. Thank you guys for your support. This is not easy to say, but hey, if he's showing negative tendencies that lead towards abuse, yes, cut that shit off. One of OOP's comments, commenters, the political climate is bringing out the worst in people, but on the bright side, we're seeing their true colors. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but your respect and trust with him will never be fully restored no matter how many apologies are made. Ditch the boy. Real men don't try to emotionally manipulate their partners. OP, underneath the screenshot, I said that I have officially ended the engagement. And yes, you're right. Unfortunately, what really started showing his true colors was a disagreement over politics. One of those Reddit posts where, like, backstory would have definitely been nice to know. Because a Trumper pulling pranks is probably not putting it in the heart of a prank. One of those little stories with hardly any info to make truly a good decision. All this emotional manipulation just seems like well, it can be. There's just a lot of ways to do it. How this thing is like fake. It's like, now romantic stuff, and then we'll go in that there were other cool things and negative tendencies that he's leaning towards. Well, get rid of it. My daughter's school says I can't walk her to the building. It was posted in r/am I wrong? Original post February 24th, 2025. So my wife works first shift, we work second. It's not ideal, we make it work. Because of this, 3 or so days a week, I drop my daughter off at 6-year-old in school. I drop her off, but every time it's time to get out, she gets stuck back and sees that she wants to run. She feels that other parents from time to time walking their kids up to the school and always talks about how she's not getting to school. So I figured, hey, when I take her to school, I'll park and we'll walk up together. She absolutely loved it. She's smiling and laughing and didn't even look sad, so I decided to do that from then on. It continued every time I dropped her for maybe 4 weeks now. And today, earlier this afternoon, my wife got a phone call from the school stating that I was violating school policy. I am no longer allowed to walk her up to the front anymore. Now, I'm not that kind of dude to go off and cause a scene, and honestly, most of the time when things like this pop up, I just say fuck it and move on. But this one is kind of bugging me. I'm not hurting anyone. When we walk up, we're out of the way of traffic and buses. I can't for the life of me think of a legitimate reason why this isn't okay. I will admit, my understanding and familiarity with school policies is lacking. So I may just not be seeing the full picture. Tomorrow I'm dropping my daughter off again, debating going inside and firmly figuring out what's the deal. Would I be wrong if I tried to fight this, or should I let it go? I feel like we're missing context here. Like, why can other parents walk their kid up to the school, but Pete can't? I don't really understand. Reddit, I guess. I'm Reddit stupid and on my phone. Figured I may as well add some stuff since I keep seeing it repeated. Yes, I have seen the other parents walk their kids up personally. I only mentioned my daughter seeing them because I thought it was relevant. Reading the policy/visiting the website. At the beginning of the year, they had us sign a paper that asked whether she was going to ride the bus or be picked up, what time school starts, what time they are considered tardy, and what time school lets out. That's it. As for their website, I spent my whole lunch break at work looking through that thing. I found their school policies tab, and nothing about walking your kid up to the building. I even went onto the website for the whole school system for our county. Nothing. Question that keeps coming up. Am I parking in the car rider area / blocking other people? No, I'm not. There's open parking all along the track field beside the school on Main Road. That's where I park. I'm not going to go in there and hold a collection for Karen at Walmart. If I did that, it would be my wife. I don't even complain when a restaurant gets my order wrong. And me asking if I should fight this wasn't me implying I planned to put on war paint and call the banners. I meant I was going to actually ask what the issue is and find out what's up with the situation firsthand, other than my usual, oh well, did I call first? Yes, they said someone can discuss it with me tomorrow after drop-off if I'd like. I made this post and asked if she can bother safety policy. That's a good point. And honestly, it didn't cross my mind. It did not occur to me that her and I walking up the side of the building with my daughter. So I walked about 10 yards from the front doors with her little kitty backpack would be unsafe. That's sarcastic.
Oblation.
Does the mom walk her up? No, she doesn't do the sad thing with her when she gets out. They spend a lot more time together during the week, so I think they're both glad for the break with each other. That's the thing. I really do not care about waiting in line. I'm not in a rush. The only reason it's supposed to be good is because my daughter loves it. It's cool, and I like making our happy. I work second shift, and we don't get to see each other a lot during the week. Many conversations happen at this school about all of this, and it will be civil and polite. Like I said before, I'm not a screaming animal. I don't want any animosity at the school. My principals and teachers and nice people, regardless of how I feel about it though, I'm going to abide by their decisions. It's their house, they make the rules, no hard feelings. So this is thanks for the reply. I appreciate it. Mean and negative ones. Try to be less pedantic. Snapchat. Thanks guys. I think we're going to meeting. Like if this is something that means the world to your daughter, like our best and try to make it happen, don't go for it. It sounds like this plan is just kind of like it's worth fighting for. Is this like a common practice? Which like it's not a big chat. Is this common practice? Like I'm just trying to like all of my things like you know, I prefer my parents wanted to talk to me in this school, make it good, and I don't really understand how that's like it's fake. How old is this kid again? He's 6 years old. I'm a 6-year-old kid. Like I kind of want to walk to school. I'm scared, but also I can still get sticks, man. Like I want to make sure they get in the door, they get into school, they're safe. grade. Elementary schools in my area do not allow parents close to the front door in the morning/after school. The only time parents are allowed to go to the door is if they sign in at the office. Damn, shit changed? Like, what is the reasoning on that? It's for student safety because of all the horrible things that have happened at elementary schools. Listen, I get it, like, child safety. In theory, I guess someone could use this as a ruse to, like, kidnap kids, but I'm thinking I have a 6-year-old kid that I love, and I want to give them the best experience possible, and I also care about their safety. Like, I want the ability to just walk them up to the front of the school just to make sure they, like, get in and I can watch them go in. Why are the parents allowed to do it, but he's not? I think they probably are just cracking down on all the parents, is what I'm assuming. Predators are bold these days. They don't need to be sneaky anymore. They just need to be fast. My kids will most certainly be walked to the door, and I'd still pick up shit if I was told not to. That's kind of how I feel, bro. I understand if they're trying to prioritize children's safety, but with how underfunded our schools are and how usually there is an insane ratio between kids and students, me personally, I don't want to leave it up to the teachers to make sure that my kid goes to that school safe. Especially at the age of 6, maybe once they're past the age of like 12. Not anymore anyways for them, fine, let's see the teachers, whatever. At that point, it's like he's going to be going along the street. Like, when they're 6, bro, I want to watch my kid go to that school and not trust the teacher who's underpaid, probably hungover from putting out the night before. Like, I don't want to put the fate of my kid on them. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm not a great person to ask about this, because like, I don't have kids and I don't know very much about the school system, but just my intuition, I don't think it's fair to not be able to walk my kid to the front of the school and watch them walk in. If anything, that takes more pressure off the teachers. All they have to do is stand there and make sure parents aren't going in, and then they can also start identifying, like, that's school parents. That's the way to do it. Doesn't let me as a kid. First update that recently been 25 the next day. This morning I talked to my daughter about the situation and explained that we probably all be able to do it. She understood. We're brainstorming ideas to make our mornings together more special. I had been meeting with the principal this morning as well. We waited for all of the other car riders and buses to come first, then parked in front of the school and came inside. It was fairly uneventful, very polite and pleasant, and he explained that there was no issue policy as of right now. Well, last week during pickup, a student took off running and almost got hit, so they're in the works of implementing the almost incident because I'm at work by that time, and my wife didn't know because she gets there pretty early to meet with sports and put on the line. It seems reasonable, and that's that. It was cool while it lasted, so like I said earlier, we can replace it. I already leave her notes for 20 drawings on the notepad, but when she gets home, so we'll think of something. I think we're
Spawn me on star set.
Children, so it's not the parents. I'm thinking like my teachers, like yes, they're there to teach me and they're there to keep me as safe as possible, but at a certain point, like you can't expect one person to be able to keep an eye on like 20 to 30 children at the time, and especially at something as chaotic as drop-off. That's why I'm honestly pro like parents being in charge of making sure their kids get into school, because like the teachers are, like I said, very underfunded, underpaid, they're focused on teaching. Like why should they also kind of have to be babysitters too? The kid taking off running and almost getting hit by a car, that's not on the school, that's on the parent of that child. I don't know, maybe I just have like a flawed understanding of the role of teachers and administration at school, but I think that's a parenting problem. It's entirely unrelated. A child running off the field has nothing to do with walking in the building, drop off the kid. Okay, this kid ran onto the road while they were probably hopping out of their car, so sometimes the parents walk their kids up, like make them responsible to make sure their kids don't run out of the street. And I go over and beat on the parents with the reasonable backlash and trying to help parents do their job. That's so bullshit to me. If you're a parent and you really think like, oh, not only is school to teach my kid, but also like take care of my kid, I'm like, that's not good. So it's probably the same like iPad parents. If you have a single top comment, that doesn't make a lot of sense though. A kid took off and almost got hit. So wouldn't it make sense that having parents walk their kids to the front door be more responsible? See them go in instead of dropping them off around the corner, or is there a specific drop-off area for teachers? Find that comment. Probably give out out and not knowing if the student is under a parent's watch or the school. To be honest, at my kid's school, I still see dangerous behaviors from students when there's an event where parents are supposed to be managing their own kids on campus. But since they're on campus, the student staff are managing even when there's info saying they aren't doing it. It gets hectic. I
can understand why they would minimize that the amount of people in and out of the building, which is I understand the argument. It's a little ridiculous, but I get it. Okay, 2, 4, 5, the next day, 2 days after original. I didn't expect to make another update, but I just got off the phone with an administrator at the school. I walked like apparently they had their school counseling meeting or something like that, and a lot of people brought up some of the points you guys did about how it makes no sense and relevancy and whatnot. Also, as some kind of speculated that, it was another parent also specifically complained. Maybe I talked to her and said she couldn't go into specifics, but the complaint said, I don't like that, and used the almost incident with that runner kid as an excuse. If my wife's trying to take my daughter tomorrow, but I'm going to take her the rest of the week and walk her on those days, it's not a big deal. It feels nice. I hope there's a world where if I have kids, I would want them to support me. As a parent, in my opinion, it's like as soon as the kid goes through the gates of the school, the child's safety really is on the school. But everything leading up to that, for me, especially at 6 years old, I don't want to try a lot. Like, I don't want to walk in, kids on the bed or whatever, send them off to school, make sure they're in the gates. But then I did my job. And I understand the safety argument, but if you're really concerned about parents being there who shouldn't be there, make the parents sign up and have, like, a lanyard with their name on it or something like that. They have to prove they can pick up the job. And anybody not wearing the lanyard has to, so they can get out of there. I mean, that's fair enough. Let's go nuclear and, like, take away the opportunity for you to oversee the safety of your own kid. My boyfriend of 1 year wants to move in together when our visas are up. But he says, I can't keep my altar. What's a female OP, male boyfriend, original post, November 16th, 2015. An altar. It's about the size of a bedside table with a drawer. There's usually a couple of glass candles on it, some bowls and cups, and imagery of specific saints that I've worked with. Tommy and I have been dating for a year, and our lease will end around the 1.5-year mark. He says he wants us to move into a place together. I was really into this idea. It sounds great to me. Then 2 nights ago, Tommy was at my place, and he asked me what I'd do if we moved in together. He put it at my altar and said, just get rid of it. I said, of course not. I'm taking it with me. And he said that I could bring the altar. That since he's an atheist, he doesn't want stuff like that in his home. I know that I don't have to have it in the living room, that I can move it elsewhere. But the living room is just where I naturally put it. He said, no. He doesn't want any of this stuff in his home. Like I was putting religion shit. If you're in a relationship with someone, you can't just expect them to put it away. Why does you being atheist from her being religious? It shouldn't. Like I was choosing religion over him, which I'm not. But I don't think I should have to give up one of the only religious things I even do. Is this just a sign of long-term incompatibility? I've lived with an atheist before and didn't have any issues, so I know it's not something all atheists are like. Like, I don't even think this is about religion. Like, I think this is his whole thing, right? Like, he's testing the water. He's like, oh, can I manipulate her into completely changing to the way that I see fit for her to live? Who fucks with that? You do not want to be with somebody who thinks that their beliefs take precedence over yours, and that there's no room for any other beliefs in their life. Not only is that an incompatibility issue, but I think that also starts showing some of his true colors. It feels a little control freaky to me, chat. Not a breakup situation, but he needs to back off the police. He needs to respect them. Yeah, this is basically control manipulating. I think that is a breakup reason. Their relationship is the greatest thing can do. He's showing his true colors that it's either his way or no way. And yeah, sure, maybe try to talk to him about it, but I highly doubt this guy's gonna budge. If he has like this level of disrespect and this level of like my beliefs are more important than yours, that's an issue. He's in a relationship with someone and they have different beliefs and beliefs than you. It should be, oh well, we respect each other's beliefs equally. You still support. Like if you're an atheist but you choose to date someone who's really religious and church, in my opinion, if you're dating them, you have to support them. Relevant comments, someone commented, he keeps calling it his home. When is it going to be ours, not his? That's I didn't pick up on that. He said that's what I asked. Why was he calling it his home? He didn't have an answer. So there's another top comment that I think is important here. Yeah, this is definitely bigger than the altar, especially if you want to get married and have kids at some point. If you haven't had the discussions that you need to before you get any further with moving in plans, but to be clear with Tommy, that you're not asking him to the altar as religious.
for anything they do at all. So it's easy to live and let live.
Kill me. I look better on second life. 1 sec. 1 sec!
Isn't going to work out. I forgot about that. Like, if you guys raise your kids, is he gonna throw a fit when you want to take them to church, but he doesn't want you to take them to church? Like, y'all know my stance on religion. Like, I don't believe in that shit. But, like, if you believe in that shit, you have every right to believe it. And, like, if you have kids, you have every right to bring them over and at least healthfully introduce them to it. There is such thing as going too far in forcing your kids into religion. I genuinely believe that. But, like, I went to church a little bit. I think it helped with, like, instilling good morals. But at a certain point, it just became toxic. I think if you guys are already running into these issues, this is gonna crash and burn. So, like, why move in together? Update, November 24th, 2015, 8 days later. I want to clarify a number of things before I continue. Dating an atheist as someone who keeps an altar has never been an issue before. I am not seriously religious, and my beliefs have never stood in the way of anything. There are no rules that I follow. It doesn't change my socio-political alignment, etc. It's a dedicated place for me to pay respects to my ancestors and to the saints I work with. It's no different than you setting up a dedicated room for video games. I think Reddit should open up to learning about religion beyond direct examples of Christianity or the bigger ones. I saw a lot of ignorant comments that clearly don't comprehend why people keep altars. And believe me when I say that there are many of us, and no, we are not mentally ill. That's just silly. On to the update. I used a lot of the conversations for my post to determine how I would talk with him about it. But it turned out he read my post, and he read the comments himself. And even better, he was able to come to me with his concerns and communicate to me what he was worried about and how he felt. Wow, damn, I mean, rare man W where he comes situation, but at least it made someone aware. We ended up talking for a long time about the issue, and it boiled down to him being a little afraid, not understanding my practice. He said he has always been a little uncomfortable about it because he's been trained to see this stuff as weird and creepy, and things like that. He asked me
What is going on? Oh, you fat fuck.
He took a few days, but in the end, when he came back to me to talk about it, he told me that he was no longer worried and that he was sorry that he made it into such a big deal. He even asked if it would be okay for him to light a tea light now and then, because he likes the idea of candles offering the recognition of a stack of books to read up on regarding this stuff, and he is reading a little bit each night. He's very apologetic about how things went down and how he seemed, but I understand that it's not
I need to do something.
not understanding or knowing about this stuff. Things are going great now, and we're still on track to move in together. Conversation about it not just being his house, which is what he knows. Rare man W on Reddit. We don't see it very often where men are willing to accept that what they've been doing is wrong. Am I overreacting? I went on a date and
Kill me.
my wife calling on this car to originally posted to r/am I overreacting?
No!
Guy turned down. We met up, ate breakfast, we hit the road because it's a long drive. Everything was going good. We were listening to music and just vibing. And then
I look better on second life.
so his phone was connected to Bluetooth, and I can see who was calling. The caller ID said, my wife, and my stomach dropped. We've been dating/talking for 7 months, and nothing he did gave any signs of him being married. He didn't pick up, he let it go to voicemail. My mood instantly shifts, and he asks what's wrong. I told him I saw who called and that he needed to call them back right now. He was going on about how it was his brother, and I said that's BS because I saw clear as day that it said my wife. He goes on his phone and shows me his recent calls, and it says big bro at the time the call came through. The thing is that when the call came through initially, and he left it a voicemail, I was staring at it in disbelief, and then I looked away because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's possible that he changed the contact name really quick. I told him again to call the number, and he doesn't show me, but he does call someone, and I can hear a male voice on the line, and we start arguing. Hold on, who's driving? He was driving, so his phone's connected to Bluetooth. So, like, okay, bro's driving, like, one hand on the wheel, so he gets a call, and he goes to the contact, searches the contact up on his phone.
CD.
On the contact, edit, that would be an incredible feat if he was able to, on the fly, while he's driving, change a contact in his phone. How OP explains it. He changed the contact name really quick. I'm not trying to call OP crazy, I'm just more like, if there's an explanation, I don't think it's that one. He insists he doesn't have a wife, and he doesn't know how that happened, etc. We get to the spot, and I try to put it past me, but I can't let it go. If he had refused to show me his phone at all, I would have Ubered home. We ended up leaving earlier than planned, and he keeps trying to explain himself, and I can't forget the image of my wife calling. I told him I needed some space to think about what happened. Am I overreacting, or is this a messed up prank? Prank?
What?
Oh, yeah.
No, I need.
I'm just learning that now. He could also not be married, but refer to his girlfriend as my wife. I know a lot of people do that, where they'll put someone in their phone as like wife, or like my wife or something like that. The plausible explanation in my head would be like, oh hey, maybe it was like an ex and he forgot to change their contact number. They haven't talked in a long time or something. Like that would be pretty stupid, and if it was, like he should just say that, but I don't see a reasonable explanation to why this could happen. I don't think OP is making shit up. I don't think OP is hallucinating. If OP is really his side piece, I don't see if she actually went through his phone how he could have gotten rid of all that evidence while they're like arguing about this while he's driving, when they got there. Like maybe I need the timeline clarified, or like how much deep diving she did. I just don't see it. It has to be a logical fucky wucky. That would be pretty hard. I don't believe that even. First comment, why and how would this be a prank? Have you been to his house? How are his friends? Some people do put sarcastic or nicknames for certain people in their contacts, but him switching up the contact name would have most likely taken some effort that you would have noticed if you were still sitting next to him and while he was driving. That to me is the big, like, holy shit, like, it would take a lot of effort if he wasn't driving and just double he was. You are right to take some time yourself, trust your gut. Second comment, I will add to this, as a married man, I have never saved my wife's contact as my wife. My married friends don't either. It's either her name or a pet name. I'm not saying it's not possible, just very odd. And then the third comment, could it be that he had missed a call from Big Bro just before he picked you up and he erased that call from the log? Assuming they're on iPhones, it was really fucking easy for me to delete a call. All you have to do is slide your finger over and, like, it's gone. So that actually makes a lot of sense to me. I could totally see how he might be able to fudge the call logs. However, let me point out here really quick. He goes on his phone and shows me recent calls, and it says Big Bro at the time the call came through. The timestamps line up. Not saying that there isn't a way that this is still weird or, messed up, but I think it's important to note he could have deleted it, don't get me wrong, but there was also a call that coincided with the time that this happened. It says that she went through his phone, like, assuming she did a good job, like, looked at his pictures, looked at his text messages, like, checked social media together. Could it have been an Instagram call? I think it could have been. Yetta, can you call me real quick? Like, I'm trying to figure out if, like, a screen will pop up on my Instagram. You have to say hi to stream. Oh, no, Yetta?
Can we do kill a BR?
Oh, God. It's still connecting. What the fuck? Yetta! Yetta! Sorry, Yetta, we gotta hang up. That was your one shot, Yetta. I think part of it, chat, is I don't have my notifications on for Instagram, so I don't think it would ring like a normal call, but could that be it? Like, could someone have called from, like, Discord or something like that? That's my question. You can't make names for people on Discord, right? You can nickname in Discord? Alright, shit, maybe it's Discord, guys. I feel like that makes a lot of sense to me. Bro's got, like, a Discord kitten or some shit? That's my final answer. Prediction. He's got a Discord kitten. Update February 15th, 2025, about a month after the original post. After my post, I listened to my gut and took a step back. I told my ex, that I couldn't look at him the same after that trip and needed space. He kept reaching out with long messages declaring his love, but never actually explained how my wife happened. I took Reddit's advice and did some digging, not on social media, but I found it on True Search. Turns out he really isn't married. I already suspected. I made it enough to know when someone's hiding something.
Wait, no rounds.
So I called and asked for the truth. Put Big Bro on the phone. He tried to claim the call had somehow saved his contacts, and that's why I saw my wife calling. Total bullshit. When I called it out, Big Bro left the call, and I got into another argument with my ex. I told him I was done and thought that was that. Wrong. He kept sending long messages asking to see me and would keep calling, which I ignored, until he finally said he'd tell me the truth. At that point, that's all I wanted because I knew what I saw and felt like I was being gaslit. So I called. Y'all, it was a test. There's no wife, no girlfriend, no significant other. He admitted to making it up because I had already been pulling away before all this, and he wanted to see if I really cared. He was crying, saying he didn't mean for it to go this far. Honestly, at this point, I felt relieved. I had started to doubt myself, and was right to trust my instincts, but that didn't change anything.
I ended things again. And of course he went right back to the long-winded messages, so I blocked him. It's over. It's done. Moral of the story, always trust your gut. To answer some questions, no, I've never been to his house because I only do that if I see something going somewhere. Make of that what you will. 2, this isn't the first time he's tested me, so I already had doubts. 3, yes, I've met Big Brother before, but we weren't close. Turns out he was in on it the whole time.
No.
4, no, this isn't fake. What kind of stupid dog shit test was that? So, like, the best way to get her
With no CD.
not pulled away is by gaslighting her into thinking I had a wife when I really don't have a wife, but then when she confronts me about it, I'm gonna come up with this insane, elaborate lie that doesn't make sense. Honestly, probably a good thing a man like this doesn't have the opportunity to reproduce, because we definitely don't need offspring as stupid as this man. Someone commented, so his end goal was what? If you stayed even though he had a wife, you were the one? What the fuck? OOP. I honestly don't know. Like, who would stay in that situation? LOL. Maybe he had a girlfriend and got caught. Maybe he was priming me for cheating. Or maybe he just wanted to get rid of me. No clue. He said it was to see if I cared, as if my reaction would somehow prove my feelings for him.
Yeah, I'm good
It doesn't make
killing
any sense,
killer.
but it's giving, manipulative, and toxic, and I'm over it. Someone replied to that saying, it's called test and apologize. I just learned about this myself at 46. Stupid games men play. I recently had to block a guy for testing me. Oh, interesting. So, like, intentionally making them mad, but, like, making them look crazy about it so that they end up apologizing and doubting themselves? My husband got fired for harassing a coworker and won't talk
Turn
to
time on.
We have a 36 female OP and a 41 male husband. Original post, April 2nd, 2018. Before we get into the last story, if this is your second or third video of mine and you're really enjoying them, but you haven't subscribed yet, just would like to remind you to subscribe. It really helps me out. And if this is your first video, you're really enjoying it, and you want more videos like this, I have over 140
Or not, your choice.
reading Reddit videos up on my channel. So after this video is done, feel free to head on over there and check those out. I also would like to take this time to present my channel memberships if you guys want to support me and get a couple of extra perks. The first tier is only $2 a month. You get access to all my emojis, all my members only streams, and you get access to some old videos that I've privated, but I'm going to start allowing only members to be able to see these videos. So this is a vlog that I uploaded 8 years ago. You can see cringy old Sarby if you're really interested in it, but only members have access to the videos. Only the members can see how cringe I used to be. On top of that, I have a $6 a month tier, which gives you early access to my videos. So as soon as they're uploaded and ready to go, I make them live for my members only, as well as any exclusive long form videos that I choose to make for members only. And then I kind of have this bigger $25 a month tier that is honestly excessive. There's nothing super extra other than you get a signed photo.
I have 2 wins now.
So if you're interested in signing up for any of these memberships, all you got to do is click the join button right next to the subscribe button, pick which tier you want, and hit join. I want to specify as well, the memberships are not required by any means, but they are greatly appreciated. Thank you guys. Back to the video. My husband Charlie and I have been together for 10 years, married for 6. We've had our ups and downs, but are currently in an up. He has never done anything like this in the past, so it came out of left field for me, and I'm very much shocked and at a loss here. Charlie is a computer programmer and was a senior engineer at his former company, where he had worked for 4 years. He never had any trouble with coworkers and were both friendly with a few of them, mostly other men and their wives. On Friday of last week, he came home around 11 a.m. and told me he'd been fired. He was really upset and agitated, and I didn't want to push him about it, but he told me that they said he was harassing a coworker and was fired. The information I've been able to get out of him. 1. The coworker is Beth, a junior engineer who he's never mentioned to me before. He said she's terrible at her job. I was already guessing that it would be a woman, but we know exactly where this is going, chat. 2. Beth slept with a senior engineer we are both friendly with, Darren. Darren wasn't involved in the harassment, wasn't fired, etc. 3. The company's lawyers were there, and among the things they told him was that Beth could have pressed charges, but chose not to. Beans red flag in chat, guys, because we know exactly what that means. 4. Something happened with her car, but he won't say what. His exact words were, there was something with her car.
5, he was escorted off the premises and is not allowed back in the building to get his belongings, and instead has to arrange with security to pick them up after business hours. This is a shit show of information, but it's not looking good. For all this to happen, bro must have severely fucked up. As far as anything else goes, he won't give me any details. He isn't interested in seeing a lawyer because he says everything is legal. He has basically admitted to sending Beth some emails, but won't say what they said or anything like that. I don't know if Beth sleeping with Darren had anything to do with it, but the fact that he gave me that detail makes me think it does. I'm not sure how it relates. Darren is a very nice single man who's in his late 20s and approximately the same age as Beth. My prediction was he was like slut-shaming her, or Opie's husband was telling Beth that she should be with him. My mind is running wild here. Charlie has been depressed and withdrawn all weekend, won't talk to me about it, and won't talk much in general. I work remotely, so I was home all day with him, and he played video games all day and then went to bed at 6 p.m. The fact that he won't tell me anything and isn't interested in seeing a lawyer makes me think that it's bad, and makes me worry that everything is true and not just a misunderstanding or a small thing blown out of proportion. He has never been flirtatious with other women.
Do I win?
Never said anything bad about other women engineers he works with. I don't know what to do here. My instinct is to be supportive of my husband, but I don't know what kind of behavior I'd be supporting. I don't want to run to his coworkers we know and ask them, since they're more our friends than my friends, and while we spend time together at
It's impossible.
I'm not close with them. In an immediate sense, I don't know what to do about helping someone who is so depressed and won't talk to me. As someone's partner, there is a level of like baseline supportiveness that you should uphold. But bro, when there's some sketchy shit going on, you do not want to blindly support this man. It sounds like it's extremely sketchy, and odds are he not only fucked up, but probably did something that was against your marriage. I know they're not your friends or like whatever else you want to argue, but like,
buddy.
I think you need to figure out what he did and go from there. There's nothing you can do until you know what he did, and if he's not telling you, I think it is on you to go out and seek what that answer is. Whether you go to Beth, whether you go to Darren, whether you go to the company, whether you go to a friend of a friend who works there.
It's possible.
What that looks like, but you definitely should find out. Ignorance is not bliss here. Update April 3rd, 2018, the next day. I got up at 5:30 a.m. to go to the gym before work, and my husband was still awake playing video games. I presented him with the very good idea someone suggested of him sending me an email with the details, but that it wasn't acceptable to shut me out of this situation since it affects me too. His response was basically, the paperwork is in my car, go get it if you want to read it. I asked him to go get it so we could look at it together, and he said, you're going to believe what you want anyway. All of this is unusual for our marriage because I'm a pretty patient person, I think. We went out to the car together, and he got in his car, handed me the papers, and left. For about 2 hours, I was panicked because I didn't know where he went, if he was okay, if he was thinking of hurting himself, but his mother texted me at night over there, asking me what happened, if everything was okay, etc. His parents live about 15 minutes away, and I guess he told her he's going to be staying there. So the paperwork. According to the paperwork, he sent her multiple harassing emails from anonymous email accounts. The emails are printed out and attached. He apparently did this while at work, and they have been monitoring his user account for 3 months. The emails aren't sexual or romantic in nature and are all anonymous and about how she sucks at her job, wouldn't be there if she wasn't a woman, how she should quit before she gets fired, and how everyone in the office hates her. He made fake user accounts for his company's product that she works on and submitted bad reviews of her work. He also did this while logged in at work. Oh, what a fucking dumbass. I'm not condoning anything that he did, obviously, but are we really that stupid? Like, bro committed the crime with the weapon that had his name on it and then left it at the scene with a neon sign. He sent an anonymous email to her boss saying that she was sleeping with a senior engineer on another project. He put a gun catalog on the windshield of her car. I don't know what this gesture means, but I obviously understand that it was meant to be threatening. Unfortunately, inside was a subscription card that the company autofilled with his name and address. Holy fucking shit, is this man insane. Bro self-reported so hard. Hey man, if you're gonna be an actually fucking evil person, be smart about it. Like, he's not evil and smart. He's evil and stupid. She also says she has been harassed for the same length of time, about 3 months on Twitter. He only logged into one Twitter account that harassed her at work, so they can only say one was him. All telling her to quit her job. So I don't know what to do now. All this is terrifying me, and I feel so bad for this woman. I have no idea what this is all about. He works with other women engineers, and he has worked with male engineers.
What?
Don't pull their weight, and he's never done anything like this. I would have bet $1 million that he'd never do anything like this. He's at his parents right now, and I don't know what my next move here could possibly be. This is so scary and out of left field to me. I think OP should 95% be leaning to, oh shit, I should probably leave this guy if these are his true colors. But I'm wondering if she does somewhat owe him, like, okay, I read the documents, like, what do you have to say for yourself? That's, I think, what I'd want to do. Although, I guess...
Right, I'm going to go and leave for now, mate, because I've been awake since half 6 this morning. Do you want to hamburger before I sleep?
So yeah, I don't actually think she owes.
I don't know.
In the comments, I forgot to mention, his paperwork is copied from the original and was signed by both him and his company. I don't know if that's a full admission, but it seems
I don't really want to have
if he signed it and he's not trying to fight it, yeah,
I'll leave it till later.
If I were in her shoes, I would probably want an explanation.
I mean, possibly some different food, but just not a hamburger.
I know, but I'm not cooking, that's what I'm saying. I'm literally something that's
by God, would I be sitting there like,
I'll put you a sausage roll. Oh, can't do
why
it.
he would do something like
I was
that.
about to say, if I put you a sausage roll in, you can take it back out, but it's alright. I'll do it. You put me to. It's really play that squeeze. I'm not playing it.
I win. I know. Yeah. No! CD, so I can't. CD. Defo no. Hate that game. You can just do that here. Just try kill her. And charge requirements. Ah. And it's possible.
Hi.
Dang. Hi.
Can you friend me? My user is _latak_.
No, I can't friend you.
You friend me.
I've already said no!
LFUC Forsaken Elephant. That's me. Yeah.
Cool ya, do ya. Nope. Nope. You didn't. Liar. I quit. I had cooldowns. Yup. They are on though. I just realised because I had one of my friends on Roblox.
Yeah. I'll give it another minute.
Yeah, so I just added one of my friends on Roblox and I added them on Discord and guess what? They have 15k subscribers. They never told me they were a famous YouTuber.
What are you doing over here?
It will make it easier. Kill killer. And charge requirements. And the charge requirements, brother. Yeah. Fair enough. There. Just ban Jado. How about only Cool Kid allowed? I don't know. piece I can't ball, not gonna lie. I'm both. I can be PP. MP. Special emotes. From skins. Now we'll play the song. I'm so preppy. Cool kid! Oh, there's shoutouts time! Level 100 dough. You're cooked. Come on! To be honest, I could just stand here unless you turn cooldowns back up and you somehow win, then that's the only chance you have. They find the painful I can, and even if it's the very last thing that I do, I choose to take me with you. I'll make sure to see this one I spin through. So death just how can I skip away? The older deeper, 6 foot as deep as it should be. Working, you see me now, no sign of teeth on a hell of a dog, doing a hell of a job, doing I never could consider. One way to go, have a gun for suppose, you're probably gonna beat. The void calls for what was before. Things now as we wild freedom. And I don't think there's a single chance that I have a chance to beat you tonight. After the regen is done, I'm just gonna regenerate all my things, all my buns. So buns of this game, you think that you have a chance, that's what I mean. You're gonna break your spleen, you know I'm gonna be mean, you know that I'm seen. And now this is obscene. Cause you know the mean green bean giant is insane. You know I got that in my brain. So if you wanna try it today, then you're gonna die. That's the way. Oh my god, I am helpless. I'm not gonna get out of this. I don't think that I'm gonna get 2v1 down. I know that's impossible. It's down to them for an one. Oh yes it is. Regen is gonna run out at some point now. If you think it's wow, that's what I'm gonna say. It's the end of this. Goodbye, buddy. Right, this is Grim Cuddy. You know I got this. Can you see me? You know I got this, buddy. In my heart and shuddy. You know I got this, buddy. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Is there anything more to say? You know I'm gonna fight and you know I'm gonna die. So if you wanna play with me, gonna win have a contact the dimension. I hate how that can hit me. You know I'm mortified. You know I'm gonna break the tide. Gonna die. You know I'm gonna cry. So say goodbye. That's the end of the line. For you, you know I'm hopeless, you know I'm cooked, and you know I'm helpless. One day you're cooked. Sure, I'm gonna fight against you the hardest that I can, the hardest that I can. Okay, they gotta go, so I haven't killed a single person yet. You know I'm gonna use my spikes to kill the cool kid. You know I'm not gonna hit my spikes with the cool kid. You know I'm gonna it's a shield for me as I win. You know I'm gonna win this. It's taking a spin and a din and a tin. You know I'm gonna win. You know that once you see the end of the line, you know that win eventually. Once I die, once I cry. Okay, let's get in the middle of the fight. Then let's do this. No, who's lower? Will we even know? I don't think I'm gonna go. You know I'm gonna try my best to win against you. M4 versus M4. M4 versus M4. You know that I can't knock out the door. You know that in the end I play. You know that I'm gonna see the light of day today. You know I got that come my body. You know I got that come my that's cause I'm your phonics one. You know that in the end of the day, you know that I'm gonna play the same games that you say today. You really think that you're able to hit that against me? I hit that against you. Say that in the end, I will win. It doesn't even affect us, you dick. Yourself versus yourself. I guess I'm one. Yeah, the other shit. Don't turn the shit. I guess I'm one. Shit. The shit. I guess I'm one. Yeah, the other shit. In the shit. You know I got that talked up too, cause I got something that I need, that I like, so give it to me. Cause you got that true, cause you got that something that I need, that I like, so give it to me. Because that true, cause I got that something that I need, that I like, so to me. Cause you got that. You can't run away, my dear. You got that. Yourself 1x1 wins. Yourself Noe versus yourself Jado.
We've got 9 juicy and IDA Reddit posts for today's video. What? Wait, am I able for asking my husband not to walk around all nude because it makes my daughter uncomfortable? An absolutely ridiculous title that also does have an update to it. But stick around for 8 more absolutely ridiculous Reddit stories, such as, am I able for freaking out at my friends after they implied my husband was a predator? And the last story that we're going to end off with that also has 2 updates to it. Am I able for thinking of leaving my boyfriend because his behavior has gotten worse after the birth of our daughter? Chat, we got juicy Reddit stories for this one. Let's lock in here. Am I able for asking my husband not to walk around all nude because it makes my daughter uncomfortable? So I have a 14-year-old daughter, and my husband has 2 sons who are 10. My daughter's dad passed away when she was just 2, and my stepson's mom died when they were around 5. Wait, so I mean, it was already weird, but now it's even weirder. I think it's more illegal. Holy shit. My husband was pretty used to walking around the house naked after showering since it was just boys around. But now there's me and my daughter, who again is a teenager. My daughter leaves alone because of something that happened when she was younger. We had to evacuate, and her door got stuck, so she's a bit traumatized by it. Also, my husband has this habit of walking out of the bathroom naked after taking a shower, just strolling to the bedroom all chill while scrolling on his phone. My daughter came to me the other day complaining that she doesn't want to see him like that. Alright, confession.
Nah.
We would walk around naked, like, actually, or something like that, because, let's be honest, we had seen each other naked a bunch of times, and it was also just, like, kind of silly, goofy, haha, funny, but, like, that is just, like, stupid idiot college boys being stupid idiot college boys. It's a little weird when it's family. I don't know about that. I told my husband about it, and he was like, okay, but then he got annoyed because my daughter was bringing it up instead of just letting it go. I explained that she thinks seeing her stepfather naked is really disrespectful to both of them, and she values his privacy. He suggested she just start closing her doors, even though he knows about her trauma. And then he said to get her into therapy. She's already in therapy and is actually getting better at shutting the door when she changes. He got all mad saying I was choosing her over him. I mean, shit, bro, as she should. I think you should choose your daughter you had before you married somebody over the person you married any day, bro. We've been going back and forth for like 3 days about the same thing, which is why I'm here. My daughter said she could just handle it because she hates hearing us argue. That is just genuinely weird no matter who you are. Like, not only family, but your stepdaughter. It just drifts into very uncomfortable and illegal territory. Like I said, me and my roommates did it because it was a little silly, goofy, ha-ha, you saw my dick type shit. But that was just stupid college boys being stupid college boys. It's very different when it's not only your family, but your stepdaughter. It's giving be a guy who gets some sick pleasure out of people seeing him naked. Maybe it's not bad, but it's just easier to wrap a towel around yourself. Why do you want to be exposed like that? Might be a hot take, but at least in Western culture, once your kids no longer need to bathe with you, y'all shouldn't see each other naked unless it's an emergency or a medical thing. I fucking agree with that. After the age of like 10, I didn't want anybody to see me naked. And I didn't want to see my parents or any of my siblings naked. That was just big old I don't know if other cultures are different, but yeah, I'm not trying to see that shit. Well, what pleasure does he get making a young girl feel uncomfortable in her own home? That's how I feel. And also blame her for it? Any normal person would think this is weird as shit. Oh shit, night shift. Mandatory reporter. If a child living or stepdad wanders the house naked, I'd be legally obligated to make a report. That's everything we need to know right there. Like, if you need to legally report that, if you're told something like that as a mandatory reporter, like, yeah, you should not be doing that. I'm all for adults around adults being nude in a consensual and, like, not stigmatized way, but in front of children, I think it does get me stigmatized. Honestly, even if he was her dad, I would still think it's weird. Not as, like, kind of weird and predatory as it is as a stepdad, but it would still be massively weird. This is clearly not the a-hole, by the way. I don't think I might clarify that. And I would still say the husband is the a-hole, even if he was the father of this child. It's like, that's just weird. Look, is he doing that when they bring friends over? That's my question. And this is a low privacy home, so I guess it'd be sensitized.
No!
If you're going to be like,
What?
hey,
One!
minimize it. If you're in a low privacy home and you're gonna see that,
Not you!
Update on this story. So, for some context, since a lot of you seem to have misunderstood things here, we were dating for 4 years before.
Stop!
We've been married for just 2 months. We talked about his habit before we got hitched, and he told me he didn't do it anymore. When my daughter went to my parents'
Stop killing Kyle!
him and kept an eye on him. After he moved in, that's when I started noticing he was
I quit.
old ways. Just scrolling on his phone. I brought it up and said, if you don't want to wear clothes, at least throw on a robe. He agreed. This was just
'Cause you.
my daughter got back. Honestly, I never really pay attention to him when he's in the shower, but a couple of days before my daughter came home, I was putting away her clothes when I saw him walk out of the shower totally bare. I told him he needed to cover up. I'm not the mean type, just trying to make things work. The next day, while my daughter was at a party, he took a shower and came out in a robe, which made me
stopped.
progress. But on the day my daughter came back, he asked her a question right after she arrived. I was when I caught her naked, she came over to say she didn't like seeing him like that. That's when I had a talk with him, and everything from my post happened after that. I've always put my daughter before anyone except for her. Gonna say anything? Gonna say anything? Now, here's the update. My husband took a shower this morning, and before he got in, I told him to bring his robe with him. He did. Then I sent my daughter downstairs and waited in her room to see what he would do. He came out of the bathroom and stood in front of her door, just scrolling through his phone. When he walked into her room and saw me, I told him I was really upset that he was doing this habit on purpose. Wait, so he came out and stood in front of her door to be like, yeah, here's my fucking dick
Out
to a
here.
14-year-old. Nah, we don't fuck with that. Snip, snip. 2 months of marriage is all you needed with this guy. Let's divorce him. I even threatened to call the cops and told him he and his kids could pack up. He got angry.
So we got in a way.
I said he should be himself in his own space. I immediately knew what had to be done, whether it was nice or not. I asked him how long he's been doing this and what else he's done to her. I wanted to know why he feels so comfortable acting this way and why he won't just wear
Wow.
just not normal. He insisted he hasn't done anything to her and claimed she's just getting in the way of him loving me. I could tell he was lying. I told him he can answer those questions when the cops ask him. We're getting a divorce, and honestly, I've decided not to get married again for my daughter's mental health. I can't risk putting
I'm
her-
actually...
I really love my daughter, but honestly, I don't think I deserve her. I should have seen it sooner, but I
I'm actually leaving, OMG.
How did you not see this? Maybe people are just really good at faking it. Hold on, focus on the positive. The divorce, let's go. Big jobs. You want to see your kid trying to teach them, like, there is such thing as, like, healthy relationships, but you're not doing a great job at it. So, like, maybe it is a good thing that you're not gonna date. You know what? I really do hope she calls the cops. I really hope she does. That man needs to be put on a watch list. Like, I'm not only scared for any women around him, I'm also scared for his sons. Like, was he doing this shit to his sons, too? Am I the a-hole for freaking out after they implied my husband was a predator? I, 27 female, my husband, 29 male, have been together 10 years and married for 6. He's the love of my life. When we got together, he moved in with me and my family because I lived with my parents at the time in a very expensive city. I have 3 younger siblings, 16 female, 14 male, and 12 female. For all their 14th birthdays, I've always said I would take them on a trip. We took my sister on a trip for her 14th birthday, and now at the end of this month, we are taking my little brother. My husband and my brother get along better than anyone. Neither of them have a brother. My husband has a sister, and my brother is the only boy out of 6 of us, so they gravitate towards each other, and it's incredibly sweet to see. It's like they were meant to be brothers. Last night, I was hanging out with a few of my friends, and I was talking about how we were planning on taking my brother on a trip, and I joked about how I would be third wheeling the entire time because they get along so well. A few of my friends laughed, but one of them gave me a weird look. She said that sounded really weird and inappropriate if my husband is giving my younger brother more attention than me. I said, no, it wasn't like that at all. They just get along well, and it was a joke. Said friend then said it was inappropriate that my almost 30 husband is so close to my brother who's a minor, and said she wouldn't be surprised if it was like a grooming situation, and I'm blind to it. I freaked the fuck out, not gonna lie. I yelled at her, how dare she imply anything like that about my husband, who she has met and gets along with, and she's the pervert if she thinks my husband, who's the only boy, bonding with my younger brother, who's the only boy, is inappropriate. I left then and went home, and since then the group chat has been blowing up with people taking sides, either agreeing that it was kind of weird, and others saying she was way out of line and needs to get over herself. I haven't told my husband because I don't want him to feel weird, but I'm starting to feel bad about how I handled it and thinking I overreacted.
Yep, I actually quit.
Third wheeling might have not been the best words to use there. Third wheeling has been used for more than just dating, but I do also think that third wheeling sometimes implies the aspect of dating. I see how they made the connection there, but I also don't think there's anything other than OP's poor choice of words that indicates that the husband is grooming OP's brother. I think the accusations are out of place unless there is firm evidence that the husband is doing something inappropriate or making the brother feel inappropriate. However, I kind of see the progression if you're using the term third. I think you just kind of like raise your eyebrow at it, but move on. I think they went too far implying the grooming thing. Would they feel the same way if she was close to her sister-in-law? Yeah, I guess genders too might play a factor in there. I mean, I don't know how many statistics on this, but my brain is telling me that more guys groom than girls groom, but maybe I'm wrong. I disagree about the third wheeling thing unless there were all these signs. Let's look at the term third wheeling. Maybe I just have a broad understanding of the term, because I've only heard it as like, okay, if you're third wheeling a couple. When you're hanging out with 2 other people, you always talk to each other and have fun.
Yes, I can pay for action. And there's another thing that I do. I ask you to take me with you. I'll make sure to see this one. I think about her ass.
Okay, so after reading that, I think we have to go with it's harder for them to make that jump.
To go a little deeper, 6 further deeper than it should be. See me now, no sign of a frown. DT's one hell of a dog, doing a hell of a job. But consider, there's only one way to go. The phone comes for the top of gonna be. The void goes for what was before. Things with now.
Bosch. I think this is not the a-hole. I think all the friends are a-holes. Little edit from OP that they put at the top, which should be illegal. This got more traction than I'd ever anticipated, so I'm gonna make some points. 1.
Pause.
Better than I know anyone else. He is an all-around good person. I refuse to keep an open mind about my husband being a predator, the father of my children. He has never given me any reason to even think about raising an eyebrow at any interaction he has ever had with any minor. 2. Some people are just evil shit starters who drive off drama no matter the avenue. 3. Shut the fuck up about grooming statistics. I know, I get it, I've been there.
After this, you'll want to go to my place.
The statistics aren't in his favor by any means. Like, accusing someone of grooming isn't a light thing to accuse someone. If you're gonna make accusations based off of that little information, that's a you problem. Update. I did tell him because I wanted him to, 1, know why I was so pissed off all day, and 2, hear it from me in case it becomes a bigger thing. He was obviously hurt. I told him he did nothing wrong and that it was crazy. I ended up sending a text in the group chat to everyone who made a case in defense of her. I refuse to allow someone to get the C-word ruin a beautiful friendship between soul brothers. Accusing someone's husband of being a groomer shouldn't just be done willy-nilly, especially when we are good friends. That needs to have some evidence to back it up. Like, I'm trying to think, if someone accused me of grooming someone and there was no evidence other than, hey, you're taking this minor under your wing and, like, spending a lot of time with them because, like, they didn't have a brother figure, they didn't have a father figure, whatever that looks like, I, too, would maybe be like, I don't actually want to hang out with you anymore. If any of my close friends did that, I'd be like, that's weird. Also, what else are they gonna accuse you of and talk about behind your back? It's scratchy. Okay. He's died. He's in the chair, chat. Guys, I got this point. Oh, yeah. There it is. Is it treat time yesterday? Does BD want some of the treats? Maybe. These are from Top Gifters, which I believe are Alpha and the Fire. These two are from all the donations and community subs. I appreciate all of this, guys. Sim Queen Bean, thank you for the 5 gifted and something for the 1 community sub. I guess we gotta give them some more. I give them some more treats. That was Beans giving me his word. Cleaning throw up, 5 minutes. 2 treats for Beans, priceless. You're right. Am I the a-hole for pretending to think beans and chili are woke? To prank my cousin who is obsessed with being anti-woke and who loves chili. My cousin is known for making chili and he's good at it. He makes his own chili flakes from his secret combination of various dried chilies. It has a very nice kick. It's like the perfect amount of spice. It's hot, but not too hot. He also adds kidney beans, not canned beans either. Anyways, for the past 2 or 3 years, my cousin has become obsessed with all this bullshit about what is or isn't woke and how woke things are the end of the world. He's always been a good dude, so I don't know what his bag is, but he is completely obsessed. It's annoying. So the other weekend, I was at his place and he was making his famous chili. So I got the idea for a little prank. I was like, I'm surprised you still put beans in your chili. He was like, what? Why? I was like, beans and chili are so woke. Everyone is saying so. He was like, what do you mean? And he was like genuinely concerned. As if it was something serious. I said something like, yeah, beans and chili are woke. The original conservative Texans who made chili only used meat and chili. San Francisco liberals started adding beans to chili in the 60s because so many hippies were vegetarian. Now all the woke scientists are saying beans are a better protein source than meat. He didn't say anything to that. I kind of just assumed he'd know I was fucking with him and get the joke. We have always fucked around with each other and made jokes. But he was quiet all dinner. Just yesterday, I was back again at his place, and he was making his chili again. There were no beans. It was a totally different chili. This guy's been making his chili with beans for like 15 years. I was like, what's up? Where's the beans? He was like, I don't fuck with that woke shit. I was like, what? He was like, beans and chili are woke. Even you know that. Everyone else was like, what? Because what? I was like,
no, I didn't. I sent a request.
Really angry. Dumped his chili in the sink and told everyone to go home. I thought he was pranking me back or something, but he was serious. The dude totally lost it. He texted me later and said this exact thing. I researched this online and it turns out you really were lying to me. Beans are not woke. How could you do this?
We went back and forth for a bit. His position is, even though we have historically pranked each other, I went too far, and that I betrayed him, that I made him question his chili. Bro, you made me question my chili. How could you fucking do that? Listen, bro, I could murder small children.
It says request sent.
Child off of a cliff, but like, I draw the line at fucking with my chili. Like, what? No way, this is a real person. I tried to ask him if this at all made him think he cared too much about what, like, what if beans and chili was woke? So what? He ignored that and demanded I apologize. I wish I was so stupid to believe that my biggest problem in life was beans and chili and having to deal with woke shit. Listen, don't get me wrong, I've always said this. Sometimes, like, the super woke people are a lot. Like, I'm very left-leaning. I don't lean that far left. What I will say is a lot of the times they're like that because they actually give a shit about the real world problems. They give an actual shit about mass shootings, things that actually do matter, not whether or not beans belong in your stupid chili because they're woke or not. I genuinely believe people like this just live a much happier life because they are inherently dumb. They are so happy in life because their biggest problems are if beans and chili is woke or not. Is this the plight of being a smarter human being and an empathetic human being? Is that our biggest problem in life isn't if beans are woke or not? He can also be super insecure and constantly wants to prove himself, and his friend really triggered him. I don't know. But like that, I also want to be that stupid and ignorant. Like, listen, bro, if someone came up to me and they're like, bro, I'm surprised you still eat beans because beans are approved by Trump and they're actually known as the Republican food of choice, I would be like, cool, weird as fuck, I don't care. If I genuinely enjoy beans, I'm just gonna eat them. The only thing I've ever like really boycotted, and this wasn't even that hard for me because I don't even shop with them anyways, but like I stopped going to Starbucks and McDonald's during all the Gaza stuff because I knew that they funded it. Hey, that light was more expensive than you were. What's the goal here, Mr. Man? What's the goal here, sweet handsome boy? You just rubbing your face on everything that I own? Oh, okay. It's lay on your mouse time. You're done streaming, Dad. You're done working. Hi, buddy. How's my handsome boy? Is it spend time with Dad time? You like to be the center of attention, huh? We had such a good day. You had so many new boxes, and you got some new toys. Dad hasn't tried brushing your teeth yet, so you don't hate him yet. No. You're so handsome. Are you leaving us? Oh, okay, bye. Am I the a-hole for not letting my friends use my back?
Good luck out there.
For their wedding because they do not want me to bring a +1. Here's the situation. Last summer, I bought my grandparents' house. This house was the hangout spot for my friends and I throughout our childhood. This includes my friend Dave. The house has a sizable amount of land, which includes a lake and a gazebo. I was supposed to buy the house with my now ex-girlfriend, Leslie, but going through the process of getting approved to buy, I found out that she has massive amounts of credit card and personal debt that she hid from me throughout our 4 years together. I decided to break up as a result. That was about 6 months ago. I met Leslie because Dave's long-term girlfriend, Kim, is Leslie's cousin. Dave and Kim are engaged and set to get married in April. When I was buying the house, they asked if they could have the ceremony at the gazebo, which I agreed to do. In December, I started dating again. Leslie has not taken this well at all. She thinks we are going to get back together and has tried multiple times to make that happen. I have told her in no uncertain terms that isn't happening. Dave and Kim have asked me to request one of the wedding. Leslie's safe. I have told them that this request is ridiculous. This wedding is happening at my house using my land, and I am not allowed to bring a date because of a crazy ex. If that is the case, then they need to find a new venue for the wedding. They are pissed about this given the short time frame of when the wedding is supposed to happen. So we are at an impasse. I don't know, I guess the question is, do you guys agree with this? I actually think it's completely valid. with the girlfriend because of debt reasons, especially hiding it from him for 4 years together. Like, not only do I think financials in relationships should be a bigger conversation and, like, should be an important thing, like, honestly, chat, I wouldn't want to build a future with somebody who has massive amounts of credit card debt that she hid from me. If she told me about it and was like, I want to work on this with you, yeah, totally. But if she hid it from me and didn't actively, like, work on improving it, I think I would break up with them too. And I'm guessing maybe chat doesn't agree with that, but, like, I don't know if inherit's the right word, but you don't want to inherit that debt. Like, especially someone for me where, like, I'm debt free and I'm very smart with my money, it would actually piss me off if, like, this happened to me. Do you guys agree with that? I'm gonna check chat to see if y'all at least fuck with that. Alright, awesome. Love that. I'm gonna deep throat a block. Let's continue. The only other thing that OP did that I didn't agree with, calling his ex crazy. I don't think it's a huge thing, but I don't think your ex is crazy. She just had feelings. I understand Dave and Kim's request. That makes sense since Leslie is Kim's cousin, but I do think it's a little overboard entertaining that of him when it's his land. At his house, on his property, maybe I missed it or maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that he's not charging them for this wedding. Bro, the least you can do is give that man a +1. That's where I'm at. The +1 is just like bare minimum. I can't believe I fucking pressed it. We're like, what's we were yelling at you the entire story of the I know, but I can't see it. It's over here.
You're cooked! You're cooked! You're cooked, chat! You're actually cooked!
In case it wasn't clear, final verdict, at least on my end, I'm going with not the a-hole. I think chat was going with not the a-hole too. And I've seen brought up a number of times in the comments, so I'm completely interested here. One, I'm fully aware of the liability issues, which is why I purchased, and they reimbursed me for a special event insurance policy, which will provide 100% coverage for any damages, claims, injuries, etc. to any of the property assessments up to $2 million. It is one of the first things we did after I agreed to have the event in my home. That was my brain. The wedding will have a maximum, if everyone comes, of 75 guests, 5 catering staff, and 5 security staff. The security is because this is an open area that anyone walking past can access. The house has hosted events twice this size, and logistically, it has been fine. On the property, there are 2 cottages, one with 1 bathroom and the other with 2 bathrooms. The only portion of my house that will not be locked during the wedding is the finished basement. The basement has 2 bathrooms. Okay, I love that, like, nobody cares about the story. They're just like, people, what are the logistics? Like, 3, every person who is single, i.e. not in an established relationship, received an invitation with a +1, including me and Leslie. This talk came after I sent in my return card and indicated I was bringing a +1. Now they are saying they do not want me to have a +1 because Leslie blew up about it and they are afraid of a blow-up at the wedding. Or Leslie indicated she intends to bring someone on her card. I do not know if she will actually bring someone. So Leslie gets a +1, but OP doesn't? Like, listen, I get she's your cousin. This is the man that is pretty much staging for a ton of money on a real venue. Like, what? At least I'm assuming all you had to pay for was his insurance? Which, I don't even know. Like, how much would this be? Special event insurance would cost between $150 and $257 per event on average. Oh no, you had to spend $150 to $250 on a wedding venue. Like, yeah, just dumb. I am so not the a-hole here, especially to, like, listen, if you're gonna give it to one side, you also have to give it to the other. That's ridiculous. Oh shit, top comment. Pull in Uno reverse, tell them Leslie isn't allowed on your property and watch their heads explode. That's insane. Just the audacity, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. I think there are things that you could cross the line on in terms of, like, how much your hand is in the cookie jar of this wedding. But this isn't... them. It should be a given that if you're going to this wedding and you're providing the venue, you also get a +1. I think that's very basic. Am I the a-hole for refusing to try on a hijab? Advice? I, 26 female, am aware that this is an incredibly controversial topic, but I am at my wit's end in this situation, and my family and friends are overseas and mostly incapable of helping me due to inexperience and lack of awareness. I am in the UK for my PhD, and my roommate, 28 female, is Muslim. We usually get along very well, and I've been respectful and accommodating of her religious
I had to go
practices.
phone on.
I'm very aware of the rising
Go phone to change
Islamophobia
it.
worldwide and try to advocate against it whenever I can. I feel the need to mention these things because they became relevant. I am an atheist myself. My roommate on numerous occasions has tried to discuss religion and theology with me, but I have quickly shut her down, fearing that this may lead to a conflict due to our differences. After her several attempts of comparing our respective religious backgrounds, I firmly told her that religion is that one topic I don't want to remotely touch in a conversation with her because I did not want an argumentative and tense relationship with someone I share with, and she understood and then stopped. Everything was fine for months until she started following those drives on TikTok where people get a job makeover on the streets and look pretty and thought of doing such a drive of her own. I gave her a thumbs up and moved on until she said she wanted to practice on me. I told her that I am not comfortable with it. She told me it is just a piece of cloth and it wouldn't hurt to try because I may end up liking it. I firmly told her that while that is absolutely alright, I don't want to try it on because I'm simply not interested. This went back and forth for some time until she told me that she is glad my Islamophobia is finally out in the open and I have exposed myself. I was shocked and I asked her what made her think that I am an Islamophobe. Based off this one incident, when I have gone above and beyond for her comfort, I abide by all her dietary restrictions in our shared kitchen, despite not having any such restriction of my own. Once I bought this beautiful statue of Jesus, but it's not for worshiping purposes, but purely for aesthetic reasons, and she told me that she was uncomfortable with the violent figure. I immediately complied and packed it away without any argument. So she's free to express religion in any way that she wants, but OP isn't. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck about. I profusely apologized to her and I told her that I have nothing against hijabs just because I don't want it on me. She stopped talking to me altogether after that. A couple of other people on campus have reported that she is telling everyone how uncomfortable she is, sharing a place with them that I have lost a friend overnight. I am also extremely scared that the word may reach the university administration and they might take disciplinary action against me. I may lose my scholarship or maybe thrown out of college altogether. I'm an international student and this week
Do I win on stall?
to explain my end of the story because no one seems interested. I have continuously and unconditionally apologized to her since the event, but nothing seems to work. Could anyone tell me where did I exactly go wrong and how can I fix this situation? Edit 1, I believe I need to clarify that I am from India and I belong from an untouchable Dalit caste. The Dalit caste is a social group in India.
Okay, the scroll wheels are broken on PS.
Cases often referred to as untouchable. So it's a low social hierarchy? Does that mean that they're poor? Like, I just don't know. They are seen as less than human, not even acknowledged by higher castes. What the fuck? I clearly don't know enough about it. Others may interests of pandering to racial and religious hegemonies end up working against my interests and of the numerous brilliant Dalit students who have academic aspirations. Edit 2, she wanted me to be a model for hijab trials because she wants to make social media content like hijab transformation videos. I see that a lot of people here don't know about them. Basically, hijabi influencers have this drive/campaigns of sorts where they ask random women in the streets if they would like a hijab makeover and put hijab and modest clothes on them. There's nothing coercive in this. You can check Bara Bolach for such content, you can get the idea. I personally don't want to participate in this because of the no religious stuff between us boundary that I had established with my roommate, and I was concerned that this may once again lead to religious debates like she used to attempt in the past. I don't know enough about Islam or anything like that to know like if this is like a true commitment or not. To me, like I would have just put the piece of cloth on my head. But if Opie had established this boundary and she was firm on it, and I do agree she's not being Islamophobe. She's just, hey, I set this boundary, let's stick to it, bestie. The respect is only one-sided on OP's part, where she respects and caters a lot to her roommate's religion, but the roommate doesn't do anything to respect OP being an atheist and her boundaries around religion. I want to go with not the able. Could you maybe just suck it up and throw it on just to appease her? Yeah, but like I also don't think that's the right move. Just as much as you're allowed to be like, hey, I'm religious and these are the things that like.
Hey, I don't know, Dax. This is crazy. So here's my number. So call me maybe. It's sort of got the best. I told you. So,
That's fair, you know? The most
so call
important
me
thing is
maybe.
is, okay,
Hey,
standard,
and toy
they set
sucks.
boundaries.
That's all this is.
And the maintenance of respecting that boundary, and that's all we
So
really
call
need
me
to know. I
maybe.
hope she doesn't get in trouble.
It's
I mean,
a
that would be
little
ridiculous
tax.
to me if she
I
doesn't
thought
stop
I
anything.
did
She's like,
say
they
so.
think about it, we want to bring her in, and
So
she's
call
like,
me maybe, call me maybe, call me maybe, call me maybe.
I don't like how it's being put on OP
So
as it's
call
just a piece of
me
cloth. Okay, let's just make it a shirt.
maybe.
Also, too,
Okay, so we'll see. So I'll one away, you see that I'm slowly dying, hee. That's what I'm gonna do. Do you even see? Do you see? Do you A? Do you B? What you want to be? Okay, so we're gonna have a shower because the Shazwetsky ain't getting cold and I need to give him the pizza to get out of shower. But I think I might be able to after an hour, I mean not an hour, a minute and 30 seconds while being chased and not get hit. I mean, I'll probably get hit once, but then I'll be on one hit and I'm 2 hit one after I may be cooked. Okay, that's it. I gotta win. This person is buns. I am not coming for him. So he's in the fight. He's something to get in mind. He gotta lose his mind. There's nothing he can do if he cannot find his Gustavo. He's waiting, hesitating. You started getting me. He's gonna lose his mind. We can do if we cannot find his Gustavo. But we just for your fail. Oh my God.
But whatever.
So I can last this dastardly task. Come on after me. You can get me, buddy.
Fair. He said no, and I dropped it. We have not been in love for quite a while, and I knew we were heading towards divorce. Upon return from trip, something told me to look in his backpack. So while he was showering, I looked and found 2 bracelets and a gift bag. I took the 2 bracelets and hid them. Hold on, I just gotta stop reading here for a second because, like, OP, what the fuck are we doing? I can already tell.
No, don't.
Like, oh, you're victim blaming, blah, blah, blah. But, like, genuinely, girl, like, why are we playing games here? We have not been in love for a while, we're heading towards divorce. Hid the divorce. I found the 2 bracelets, so I hid them. Like, why are we playing these games? I'm sorry, but it's, like, really immature to me. Don't get me wrong, I'm guessing the husband's cheating. He's an asshole. Absolutely. But, like, also, girl, I don't understand why you're just making this worse for yourself. All was well until he went to the car to leave. He came storming in demanding I give the bracelets back. I simply replied, what bracelets? He said he bought them for me for our anniversary next month. He knows I don't wear bracelets, and I hates them. Why would he be freaking out if the bracelets were for me a month later? He stormed out, and we didn't talk about it again. I was finally able to get in his phone and discovered text messages confirming the affair. Part of me didn't care because we were not in love, but I still felt betrayed. 2 years later, we are divorcing. I'm cleaning out our rooms, helping with the pack. We had a very amicable divorce. Hold on, it took you 2 years to divorce from that moment? I don't know, I get it, it's hard. I'm probably being a little bit of an asshole here, but like 2 years? Really? While cleaning, I found the 2 bracelets I had hid years ago and forgot about. I didn't want them, but our middle child, female 15, loves jewelry. We were separated but decided to have Christmas at the house together. So Christmas morning comes and kids are opening gifts. The look on Joe's face as our daughter opens the bracelets was priceless. They were rose gold, her favorite. Her face was beaming with joy. He sat there looking at the jewelry like a deer in headlights. So am I the a-hole for gifting the jewelry to my daughter meant for my husband's side? Racing girl, because fast, I think everyone sucks here. Just like, why are we playing this game? Why are we putting your child through this torture? Your husband sucks ass. That being said, funny as fuck, you should have put this in nuclear revenge. That has gotta be the funniest thing I've ever heard. I think you're a little bit of the a-hole here just with how you went about it, but you're not the a-hole for that, I'll say. I don't know, maybe it actually is a little bit of an asshole. But I think it's deserved, bro. The husband fucked around and boy did he find out. And it some has strong feelings about gifting bracelets to my daughter and her feelings when she finds out. I have no intention of telling her. Joe will not say anything. He denies the affair completely with confidence. He also sends abandoned kids. The only way she would find out is if I would tell her. Actually, Chad, bringing up the lore about the bracelet, that is a little fucked up. I can't even Merry Christmas! Here's the bracelets that put the nail in the coffin to daddy and mommy's marriage. Y'all need family therapy, you need individual therapy. You probably shouldn't have had kids, but that's a whole other discussion. Am I the a-hole for not dating a single dad, even if he's a victim? I'm 19 female. Recently went on a date with a guy, Ben, 25 male. Well, I'm 27, so Chad, is this play about us? I'm also not a dad, so. I'm 19 female, recently went on a date with a guy, Ben, 25 male, after meeting through mutual friends. He was nice enough at first, but I found out he has 2 kids, 1 is 7 male, which means he became a dad at 18, 19 and the other is 2 male. Dad at 18, and they also had another kid. Also with the age gap, like, obviously it's not illegal, but I'm not a fan of this age gap at all. Like, man, you can't find somebody, like, in their 20s today, like, it's not illegal, not a huge fan. I've always known I don't want to date someone with kids. There was nothing wrong with him as a person, but I just couldn't see myself in that situation long term. I'm not particularly a fan of kids, but that's not happening anytime soon. However, I don't think I can handle being a stepmother. After our first date, he messaged me saying he really liked me and wanted to see me again. I politely told him I didn't think it would work out. That's when he started pressuring me for a reason. He said he thought we clicked so well, we had the same interests, and he didn't understand why I was saying no. I tried to keep it vague at first, but he kept pushing, so I finally told him I wasn't comfortable dating someone with kids. That set him off. He started saying things like, oh, I thought girls like experienced men, and that I was being judgmental over intentionally going brilliant, like, and then I was being judgmental. Then he said he didn't plan for any of this shit. First, and the second one was a surprise. I don't even see my kids that often, and we wouldn't have any problems. I was baby trapped. I had it way harder. I mean, nobody expects me to see this kid, but it's giving me stuff. Being baby trapped twice, Chad. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Maybe that's a bad thing for me to say, but like, okay thing for me to say, because like baby trapping is sexual assault, don't get me wrong, but like twice, man, baby trapping, that was consensual. It was the reproducing that was not consensual, which means you consensually have sex with them, you consensually have a baby with them, and then you choose to think really consensual sexual. You don't know what makes some videos fucking funky and bad person, but like to me, I get baby trapped, and I and like I was a 50 years of person took advantage of me. I was having sex with them. You're right, Andrew. More than anything else, this is not a problem. But it sounds like he's trying to weaponize his problem. He's trying to be like bad so that I get what I want. Like I shut us up. They said I was being judgmental. Nobody these days cares about how many baby mamas someone has or about being a stepmom. That's the fucking dumbest thing. Oh yeah, nobody cares if they sign up to be with someone who has a kid and then therefore will live that kid for the rest of their life and choose to make them like partner. Nobody gives a shit about that. If that's the truth, everybody's stupid. Yeah, don't go into the situation being like, oh, you have a kid, I don't even care. That isn't gonna change the dynamic of our relationship at all. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I told them I just don't see myself in that position. My friends said they understand, but that I should still apologize to Ben. For what? Wait a minute. Nah, bro. Fuck that Ben. He's ruining the Ben name for everybody else. I'm going to not be able, and maybe I crossed the line by being like, I don't understand how you let that happen twice, but maybe it's a learning moment. Maybe someone in the comments will be like, this is why, but I just really don't understand how you get baby trapped twice. I'm very hesitant to leave this plane if it happens twice by the same person. Either way, OP needs to get the fuck away from this man and their friends. It might be able for giving crappy Christmas gifts and ruining my marriage. Advice needed. I, 31 female, married my soon-to-be ex-husband, male 33 in 2018. My in-laws never liked me and made it clear. My soon-to-be ex insisted that they're just putting up a tough exterior and they'll grow to love me. To show how evil they are, one time I joined them for dinner and brought a cake I'd made because I was always raised to be a gracious host. When I stepped into the kitchen and offered the cake to his mother as a thank you for inviting me, she took the plate over to the garbage bin, dumped it in, and handed me the plate back. When I told my husband what she did, he confronted her, and all of a sudden, crocodile tears started, and she claimed she grabbed the plate, but didn't get a good grip. I let go quickly, and it fell to the floor, so of course it had to be thrown away. My sister-in-law, like, if this happened, this is so cute. My soon-to-be ex owned
Pencil buddy, then your head was nice and putty. And your shoes fits off my foot cause it's getting bloody. Your eyes, man, it will be alright. And on the black side, you put up a good fight. You forgot the since I got my clips ready. On YouTube, cause you're not easy. Easy for a ball. It's like you're going, but you ain't going far. Don't leave it, put you in the freezer. Come back far. I don't think that I will see this. I think I'm gonna win. I don't think I'm gonna win. I don't think I got this through. I think I'm gonna shoot. Think I'm gonna prove. I don't think I got a chance outside beating you. So come on, buddy. Come go on 0, 0, 7, and 7. Go on him! How is that even possible? Oh, yeah, what?
Join the conversation and everyone would go quiet. So I just stopped talking. It irked me to stop. It's for Christmas. A few days later, my soon-to-be ex said his family decided they didn't want me to join them for Christmas dinner and Christmas lunch because I ruined the family vibe. I replied, fine, we'll do our own thing instead. My soon-to-be ex cheaped away and said he was still going to go. The girl major seeing this man. I want to know how long they dated before this, because there's no way. Everything I'm reading is just a gigantic red flag. There's no way this didn't come out earlier. I was livid and so disappointed in him, and that was the moment I knew my marriage was over. So I returned the presents I bought for his family. In their place, I got one pair of novelty business socks for father-in-law, a supermarket brand bottle of shampoo for my mother-in-law, the nastiest perfume I could find at the dollar store for sister-in-law. The most expensive gift was a large rawhide bone for mother-in-law and his wife's chihuahua, too big for it to get its jaw around, rendering it useless. I saved about $600 to put on a deposit for a new apartment. My husband came home from Christmas lunch telling me I humiliated him and embarrassed him in front of his family. I asked him why he think I'd buy nice gifts for me because he don't like me and didn't me around. Served divorce papers last week. Remember how he was supposed to be a millionaire by now, so we had that freedom? Soon-to-be ex is not eligible for any of my savings. It was required to keep separate accounts for eligible. He doesn't have money for rent and auto insurance, not my problem. Some of my friends and family are on my side and proud that I went out in a blaze of glory. Others are telling me I was being way too petty, which isn't really like me. Why would you spend your own hard-earned money on people that hate you? I'm all about you're not gay. Anybody listening to this, if you are in a situation where your in-laws don't like you, make it clear, and your partner insists that they'll eventually like you and not standing up for you, not going to bat for you, that's never going to change. Never date or get married to someone based off potential. Relationships would starve me. If there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that. Do not marry someone for their potential because odds are they will never live up to that potential. Marry them and marry into their family or date into their family based off of where they are currently. We need a beat cam. There he is, our favorite white boy. Beats cam, beats cam, beats cam. Update, also tagged as advice needed. For those of you who asked how the deposit on my new apartment was only $600, I saved on the gift. It certainly wasn't. I had to dip into savings, but that's $600.
It's going on, you know I got it good. You know I got it here.
Papers and my lawyer made it clear we are exercising the prenup. Then it was loving voicemails and texts I never picked up from him and his family for a few days, trying to convince me to come back, which eventually turned to threatening and cruel voicemails and texts when it was clear I wasn't budging. My lawyer suggested I don't block them so we have evidence of harassment if needed. Thankfully, give them the rope to hang themselves with. But then, last night, I got call after call from my soon-to-be ex. Stupidly, I picked it up, thinking there was some kind of emergency or something. I barely got hello out when he said, the rent is a week late. I told him that's strange because I paid my landlord 6 days ago. He paused and sighed dramatically and replied, no, the rent for here. I reminded him I don't live there and he shouldn't expect rent. Cue his parents both texting me that they're going to sue me to pay the remainder of the lease entirely. I'm not worried about having an eviction on my record since the apartment is in his parents' names. Interesting. When we first announced we were moving to his hometown, they rented an apartment for us right away so we could move right in. They've been renewing the lease each year. We had to pay his parents, and then they would write a check to the landlord, who has no idea who soon-to-be ex and I are, let alone that we live there. Red flag, I know. I'm glad I had a few weeks to prep my leaving, since they probably use the fact that it's their apartment to kick me out immediately. Divorce is probably going to be a bumpy ride with this man-child and psycho parents. Any advice from anyone who's been through it is welcome.
Unfortunately, chat, I think I am not qualified for that advice, but definitely listen to your lawyer. I would not be answering their calls or anything like that. Literally let them hang themselves with the rope. If the apartment's not in your name, like, you're good. Whoever's name is on that apartment lease are the ones that will be punished when they don't pay the rent on it. I think you're good there. Could they maybe sue you and it'll be an annoying legal battle? Yes, but I'm pretty sure you'd win that. Like, I don't think any lawyer would want to take that legal battle. As far as the courts are aware, she's not on the hook for any rent whatsoever for that apartment. Exactly, bro. Let mommy and daddy pay for it. If you're in a situation where your partner's family doesn't like you and your partner isn't going to bat to try to, like, repair that relationship and wants you to spend as much time as OP is spending with that family, like, you gotta cut your losses. You can't give it that potential, you know? You're marrying the family too. Tomasan, my mom says the exact same thing. And I've always, even if they don't have a relationship with the family, either way, you are marrying whatever relationship they have with their family. Here we go, guys. Last story of the stream, but this one does have 2 very long updates to it, too. Am I the a-hole for thinking leaving my boyfriend because his behavior has gotten worse after the birth of our daughter? We'll finish up this last story. If you've gotten this far into the video, that probably means you're enjoying it. And if that's the case, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future reading credit videos. I upload 2 a week, 40+ minutes, and they go up every
No, send me down! You know what I'm saying? Send me down. Send me down. Send me down. You know I got that. Send me down.
She is super colicky. She hates being put down. She cries so much. Her pediatrician says she's just a miserable baby, and she will grow out of it. My boyfriend wasn't during my pregnancy, but now that our daughter has all it's so much worse. He complains that we don't sex enough. He complains she cries too much. He complains that he works too much, and I'm a mooch for not having found a job yet. He often leaves me to manage everything while he plays video games or hangs out with friends. It's okay for him to go out and get drunk and stay the night at a friend's house, but he will literally time me when I'm taking a shower and blame me for the fact our water bill is too high. He makes me feel like I'm a failure of a mother because our daughter spits up so much we go through 4 to 5 outfit changes a day, and he complains that it's too much laundry. Some bill is late or behind and blames me for not contributing to our shared bills, even though
You actual fucking idiot, I guess.
average recovery time from a pregnancy, but it's gotta be longer than
Just Spencer down!
Like, it takes 6 weeks to get to a
Come on, Jimmy.
I literally 2-month-old daughter is just way too early to expect OP to go back to work. We already knew everything. Everything about the boyfriend that OP is explaining is super unreasonable. My boyfriend won't use any type of government assistance because he thinks that's what he does. But we are constantly counting pennies to sort out food so we can get the special formula my daughter needs, so she's not absolutely miserable.
Come on, get it.
We got into a fight
Come on,
yesterday
get
because I
it.
placed a
Come
Walmart
on, get
delivery
it.
for diapers, wipes,
Come on,
and
get
rash
it.
cream, and I bought myself some
Come on, get
ARD
it.
cans so I can
Come
have
on, get
something
it.
to eat while he's out.
Come on,
He
get
ended
it.
up screaming at me yesterday while our daughter was giving me a bruise on my forehead. Yeah, girl, get out of there. Like,
So,
just the father and this is what I get. You have to baby out of wedlock. She said she struggled hard when I was a child, and this is my punishment for not going to college and being a dumb slut. I get it some days because she was a single mom too, but I remember being primarily raised by my grandparents, and she's never even watched my baby. She doesn't want to because her medical issues and it's old stuff. Oh, this poor OP was just set up for the utmost level of failure. Holy shit. I told my mom I wanted to leave him and she laughed and said I was being dumb and that he's all I've got now and she won't help me anymore. This is after me begging her to lend me some money so I can buy my own groceries, and I promised I'd pay her back once I find a job. Sometimes I feel like I'm just not cut out to be a parent. I don't feel like a good parent. My mom makes me feel even worse about it and has told me I need to give my daughter to a better family, and when my boyfriend is angry, he's told me he wished he had just left us so he wouldn't have to deal with us any longer. I think I need to leave my boyfriend, but I'm scared to do that. Am I being dumb about wanting to leave him? Is my mom right? I don't want my daughter to grow up without her father, but he stresses me out so much now, I don't even want to be around him because of his
me. You do not want your daughter to grow up with a father who throws things at her mother. That is not an environment for a kid at all. And if my grandparents are dead, otherwise I would even go live with them and call the domestic violence hotline if they are going to put me in touch with shelters. I have $7 in my name and I put our important documents in the diaper bag. Please stop messaging me telling me I'm a dummy or I should have aborted my baby. I can't turn back time now that she's here. I regret who her father is, but I don't want to give her up. I want to leave him and I'm doing my best to get that emotion. I'm going to leave as soon as I can because the shelter is a place for us to go. Headed to their domestic violence shelter, but they won't have a space for us until next Monday. The shelter is going to put me and my daughter up in a hotel starting on Friday. I'm going to get a protective order against my boyfriend and try to get as many of our things out of his apartment until then. I'm taking photos with the food he gave me. I'm going to be doing a lot of packing up at work tomorrow. I'm going to apply for as many social services as I can too, and I hope I get it fast. I'm slowly getting a plan together. I will update everyone again once we are in the hotel or in the shelter on Monday. Thank you to everyone who's offered help, please just today, offered food and clothing and stuff for me to out of the shelter and back on my feet. I know I will be better off once I leave him, so I just have to keep going. Like, she doesn't even have any, friends or anything like that she can stay with. That is a miserable situation. I mean, don't get me wrong, chat, I'm also on the way, she shouldn't have had that dog in the first place, in my opinion, but the damage has been done. At this point, it's just, how do we get this OP out of the situation? I do think she made the right call calling the domestic violence shelter and trying to get a place in there. Setting up a protective order is definitely the right move, too. Choir Collective, I work at a resource center / shelter. These are all amazing steps. I'm wondering how long the shelter will be and if they have grants for rapid rehousing. So glad she got out and is reaching out to the right resources. That makes me feel a lot better, Choir Collective. So what you're saying is that this is probably the best move that she could have done in her situation. Not that I would, but I can't even blame OP. If she was raised by this mom, she has been set up for failure since the day that she was born. Since the day that this mother, we can call her that, birthed her and basically allowed her to be raised by her grandparents. That's so sad, man. Y'all, if you guys have good parents, make sure to thank them. Let's text Kathy. Thank you, Kathy, for not. So we got 2 updates for this. The first one, I know a lot of you wanted an update when I got one. I'm ready to post while he's at work. I'm so tired and scared. I was up at 3 a.m. and again at 5 a.m. with my daughter and trying to ignore him. I haven't spoken to my mom about leaving him because I'm worried she might tell him my name. I'm just going to cover her now entirely. She isn't safe and I'm too scared and worried she's going to take his side and try to make me stay with him when I don't want to. I've never been able to trust my mom at all, but I know I can't trust her with it. The shelter won't have a space for us until Monday. I packed away all of our important documents, like birth certificates and social security cards. The shelter can't get us a place in a hotel over the weekend, and I don't want to risk him finding out that he's off work, so I just have to make it through the weekend to get away from him. I'm hoping the shelter will be able to help me get any assistance I can apply for. I've never had to do it before, so I'm kind of curious on how it works. I'm hoping I can also get a protective order against him, and he can't have our daughter alone until she grows out of her colic, and he won't be so frustrated or angry at her when she cries. I hope he doesn't want anything to do with the daughter if he complains about it so much. I don't want that man alone with the baby, even if it's not going through colic. Colic isn't the only hard part about having kids. I'm terrified to leave her alone with him, but I don't know if I'll have to let him see her once we leave. I'm going to continue stashing away our important items until he gets home, and I'm honestly hoping he just goes out to drink and stays away so I can have one night of peace, besides waking up every 2 to 3 hours for my daughter. I can't wait to take a shower as long as I want and eat a hot meal that isn't from a can. I'm hoping the shelter will be able to give me clothes that actually fit. I can't wait for when I don't have to wake up with anxiety in my stomach or worrying about spending money when I get a job and have my own income, or getting yelled at for buying necessities that I need and my daughter needs. And it's some of you really need to learn to be empathetic. No, I will not send you nudes to make money. No, you weirdos, I will not send you feed pics or pics of my daughter. Well, the internet really is an awful place sometimes. Holy shit. I have people in my inbox asking if I will make a GoFundMe, and right now I just know, too afraid of my daughter's father finding out. I do have my own bank account that he's never had access to. I have people in my inbox telling me to get a job. I'm hoping the shelter can help with that and give me a job fast. Or just being downright mean and saying really awful things. Yes, I know it's dumb for me to get pregnant at 21, and that's maybe the guy I'm married to, but I am going to leave him and give my daughter a better life. She deserves that. I don't deserve to treat her the way my father has treated me for her being I have no no doubt that she knew that it was done for her, especially now in the situation that she's in. It's like, okay, what does she do now? I think it is important to like at least acknowledge, like, hey, getting to this point, there were probably a lot of mistakes made, but like we're at this point. Let's acknowledge it, but how do we go forward? Update 2. I know a lot of you wanted an update. We are in the shelter now. We left the apartment at 8 a.m. this morning, about an hour after my daughter's father left for work. It has been a long morning for me. I had to meet with a worker from the shelter, show that I had my location turned off on my phone. She had to go through mine and my daughter's things that I brought to make sure there were no tracking devices. There's rules I have to follow, like curfew, can't have packages delivered or have packages shared publicly for safety reasons. I can't let anyone know where I am, or else that's a violation, and we will have to leave for safety reasons. They gave me and my daughter a room and a spare pad to play for her to be in, and gave us a spare set of sheets and a blanket. The shelter will provide things like toilet paper, pads, stuff like body wash and shampoo, laundry detergent. I have to get that on my own. Make sure it is in my room and not in common areas. I can't eat in the food given, and all foods that but I can keep things like my baby's formula. When we got to the shelter, they had me fill out an application for WIC, SNAP, and TANF, Medicaid for both myself and my daughter. I also filled out an application to get a low-income apartment, but the shelter worker said that could take years before I'm approved. I also have to create my own resume and start finding a job as soon as possible. I had to provide my daughter's father's name and information to apply for these benefits, so I don't know what application to receive income. The shelter worker said I was better off taking a lawyer, and she's going to give me a list of ones who work in the shelter in family law. I also need to get my daughter to see a new pediatrician because she was so angry and cranky and miserable all weekend. I've never felt so stressed and scared and sick to my stomach, like I was waiting for him to just explode and make things even worse. It ended up with her father screaming at me and throwing and breaking things like plates and throwing candles. The next big thing is getting a protective order and seeing if that will allow me to keep custody of my daughter.
It's been that for 3 weeks.
Unless I absolutely have to. I'm just so tired and anxious. My stomach is in knots. I have to try and get a police escort to get my clothes and what few sentimental items I have, because the shelter doesn't have clothes in my size right now. I'm scared my daughter's father won't do it with my things. I'm scared he's doing her things too. I feel like there's a ball in my stomach, and I feel like I haven't been able to leave from being with my daughter's father. I've not contacted my mother because I can't trust her not to tell my daughter's father who we are at. I feel like I'm starving and I can't wait to have a meal. I'll probably have to change my phone number to make sure my daughter's father can't contact me. I have a bank account he has no access to, and I'm hoping I can find a job soon so I can get a car and be flying to the shelter to get the shelter worker said it can take up to a month before I receive any assistance, and that has me nervous and scared too. I'm really hoping I hear something back soon for assistance and can hopefully get into a low-income apartment so we aren't in the shelter for a long time. I'm still scared of what's to come in our future just because I don't know what to expect next. I just want to never hear from my mother again. And then ended at the top, people are asking me if they can go fund me. The shelter worker did not want them to go fund me anyway. I made a Venmo with the same username as my Reddit username to keep some privacy. Thank you to everyone who has offered help so far, and more resources to help me rebuild my life after leaving. The shelter worker was the one who said I may have to change my number if my daughter's father starts harassing me through text messages. She didn't say I absolutely had to do it. I'm terrified if he does get off work and goes back to the apartment. I'm ready for things to get better. I still feel like I'm going to bar. Now it's just waiting and doing my best to make it day by day. A month seems like a crazy long time for benefits and stuff.
it's cheap. Yeah, well, it takes a while. I've got an app and I'll send it you. It's free popcorn and drinks included. So I won't really take it.
Well, I mean, for £5 you get the worst seat.
Yeah, that's fine, but you get the
I don't want the worst seat.
no, we won't. We'll just sit wherever we want. We don't want to do anything.
Well, don't you have to pay extra?
I don't listen to that.
You have to pay extra for
Bullshit.
those. You have to pay extra for them, though.
Oh, okay, so you want a movie drink?
Well,
Well,
do I
yeah, you want a drink, it's fine, we can take away.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, you went to a seat for £10. Apparently I'll web you a seat in the most popular location around.
Right, okay. Right, give me a couple of minutes before I'm away anyway. You just message to say it's where he gets off here. He gets off the platform at 10 to 6, and anything after that. So you're looking at R670, basically. Well, I've told Paul just to leave it today and we'll go tomorrow. Because I'm trying to book it in on the same day. Really bad.
Well, my round 2 is for exactly that time.
Is it?
Well, no, that's tomorrow. What's today?
What's the earliest tomorrow away from work?
Oh no, today's is closed out. It's not full today.
No, well, when's tomorrow? I knew today was sold out because it's literally only in the UK today.
We've already agreed on the time.
6:15.
No, 1:55. We've already agreed on that.
Right. Well, yeah, that's fine.
That's Friday. It's
I
Thursday.
don't physically get you up, that's the issue.
Do you mean Friday?
Pardon?
Tomorrow is Friday.
Friday, what's the last thing?
6:10. I've already told you this.
Right, so we'll aim for that then because you getting up is terrible.
I can wake up before 1:55.
For what? What?
I can wake up before 1:55.
Right, okay. So if you do that, I'll do that, and Paul will do that, we'll all set up alarm. Surely one of us.
You definitely are. I think I told you.
Yeah, we've already looked. Uber to Cleveland, that's where it is. Over the £9 anyway. What car?
Don't say that to your phone.
Well, I do, but it's probably odd.
No, it's not.
But it is.
It's me.
Oh, right.
I mean, you may say, oh, I'm like, turn it in the car, but I'm using it after I'm done with the video.
I've got you as well as
Yeah, that's the one I was
other ones, like Caseydoezzstuff.
I just said that one. I mean, you may say, why is my phone closer to the car? But I'm
Right, I've
actually
forwarded
doing
it
it.
to Paul.
What?
I've just forwarded it to Paul. Because Paul's one in pain, so yeah, I've just
Don't worry about my phone breaking, by the way. Mom,
yeah.
you may say, oh, I shouldn't bring my phone in the car, but what I do is, I put it on the edge of the sink.
Hello, are you on your way? Yeah, but no, it's Paul. It's only you on your way.
Yeah, I said that. I said $10 fine.
Right, Casey. Or do something so we can all see what we want to see, basically. Yeah. Tom, have you tried fucking Brad? Can you try in a minute? There's someone in Blackpool being pulled. It's on the Gazette. But I don't think it's looking at it. I don't think it is Brad. Yeah, looking at it, there's a big dealer being pulled in Blackpool, but it's not Brad, I don't think. I'd be worried if it is. He's my main dealer, man. I'm not walking to Vandali. Fuck that. I'm off foot. I'll get things made.
What, do you want me to call him? Bob, do you want me to call him?
Well, yeah, but maybe knock his door. He lets you. I think it's because I'm female, Tom.
Mom. Mom. He's asleep at the moment. Yeah. Girlfriend just told me. Yeah.
got some count too. Look at that. I can teach you how to be just me. Down, sipping on tea. I can teach you how to be just like me. Beyond the identity. You big back. You big back.
admin wake up and get back to you anyway. If he gives me a call like that, I'll let him know.